Alrighty, well that is 6 p.m. So does all. I should probably keep my music. Whoopsie daisy. 6 p.m. So it's all horseshoes, hand grenades, and government work. It is close enough. I think it's about time we get started. Uh, Move over to the correct tab. Which there we go. There's everyone's images. Perfect. All right. So howdy. Welcome to Bheith's Brain Busters, the only game show powered by 1,000 years of Dracolich knowledge and access to my computer. For our first episode, we've been graced with three lovely competitors. Our first contestant of the night. Um, I have this in the wrong order, which is very lovely, and I realize I've spelled 3 words wrong already in my script. How lovely. I'm sorry. Our first contestant of the night, I do have faith in. She's surely going to teach us that she is going to win. Wait, do I have everything set up? I can't hear anything. Whoopsie daisy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Oh.
Is it?
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay, there we go. All right, Piper. Your intro.
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Yeah, you're good. I
hello,
realized I
I'm-
didn't say anything.
I'm sorry. I should have assumed. I should have assumed that pun. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Piper Sensei. You can call me Miss Piper or Piper, and anything's clever. I am a VTuber teacher, and I'm very excited to be on here. I'll probably thoroughly embarrass myself, but I'm looking forward to it anyway. Thank you, Bay.
All right, our second contestant of the night is certainly who I'd be putting my bet on.
The puns kill me! Okay, so I am Pootie Wop. I am the one and only VTuber made entirely out of butterscotch pudding. And I am ready.
All right, our final triathlete of the night will definitely put up a tough fight against these skull scratchers.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Vapor Skull. I'm a vaporwave skeleton, PNG tuber, and I am sometimes smart and know things.
All right, unfortunately, we have 2 actual teachers here who are probably going to give you a bit of a rough time, but don't worry. Us skull boys stick together, so I have faith in you.
True.
All right, without any further ado, I'll give you all a rundown on how this game actually works. Here on our board, we have a few categories, and the rows that follow them have the questions our contestants will be answering. As we go from left to right, the questions will raise in difficulty, but also in their point value. At the end of each category, there's a question worth significantly more points, but is also significantly harder. As we go down each category, I reveal the questions and begin to read the question aloud. Once I finish each question, we'll hear each contestant's answer and a little bit of a defense for why that they Oh, contestants are a bit quiet? Uh-oh. Here, I'm going to... I have this all going through an audio output capture, so I may raise people's Discord voices. Sorry if they were really quiet, that's my bad. It's good to know. I'm definitely taking notes of how things are going. Okay. Everyone will give a little defense of their answer, and then we'll give points to people. If you get a correct answer, if you give a funny answer, doesn't super matter. As long as everyone's having fun, people will be getting points. This game's most important rule is just to have fun. So as long as we keep up with that, I'm happy with it. And then now I get to close my script. I spent like 2 hours writing that earlier this week because my head hurt, and every time I tried to write
Wow.
something, it would like hurt my head worse. So I gave up.
That's
You
great
put so
because
much into this.
yeah, you did good
I'm-
because if I tried to do this, it'd be like I'll just figure it out like on the spot, and then I'd just be like, oh, well, you know.
The chat box is in a super weird spot. I'm really worried about all this now. All right, so it's either y'all are going to be across my face. Don't worry about it. I'm not that pretty. I think that's all of our intro. That's fine. Everyone can see things good. Hope is everyone still hearable? Not unmanageable, but significantly quieter than you. Sorry, Putty has me used to helping, but I can rush if you want. No, you're fine. People let me know when something
that's
is
my
wrong.
Best friend Aaron.
Yeah, if something's not going
Aw.
well, let me know so that I'm actually able to fix it now so it doesn't drag on. Yell at me if you have to. I would like to know. All right, everything's going so good. All right, I think we're good to get going in onto our first category. So while I have the board open, I'm actually not able to see a lot of stuff. So I'm going to have to try and finagle this a little bit. So chat is going to be in a weird spot because you're on my phone and with in like kind of the corner of my screen. So I have you there. I can see you. I witness you. but if anything is weird, it might take me a second to know. All right, without any more lollygagging, this is going to be the start of it for us. So, if nothing else, we have geography for 100 points. And don't mind that this is totally, absolutely opening in another software. All right. Our first question, relatively simple, only worth 100 points. What is the largest country? I'm questioning myself. What is the largest country by landmass? This was the first thing I had to look up when I was actually Googling this. I knew what the answer was, but I started second guessing and gaslighting myself immediately as soon as I gave that answer, so I had to check. All right, our first contestant, Piper. What do you think is the largest country by landmass?
I'm debating whether to go for the right answer or the funniest answer. So I'm gonna go with the funniest, and I'm gonna start off with a yo mama joke.
Got him.
All right, so I'm assuming that's Yo Mama is the biggest country by landmass.
Yes.
All right, I'm very happy, very pleased with that one. All right, Putty, what do you think is the largest country by landmass?
I feel like it's either Russia or China, but I honestly don't know which, so I'm gonna guess Russia.
Two definitely solid answers. They're quite large. I haven't looked at that side of a map in a while, but you know, those are definitely two that I would put up there. Hi,
It's
Vapor
not as
School.
large as your mama, but you know.
Well,
Meow,
I don't
pew,
feel
pew,
you had
pew.
I don't feel you had to say that about her, but I understand.
Yeah,
I'm
here
also
we
moving
are.
my hands very strangely because I'm nervous. All right, Vapor Skull. For 100 points, what do you think is the largest country by landmass?
Well, since your mom is already taken, I guess I'll also say Russia because that's the second answer that came to mind.
All right, your first answer was a good one because my mother is a taken woman, so Russia is an acceptable second place. That
All right.
being said, I'm going to give out full points for all that. Your mama was a fantastic answer, and the correct answer is actually Russia. So here's the
Let's go.
I
here's
was
the
gonna
weird
go
part
with
where
Russia.
I have to finagle everything. All right, so everyone gets 100
Ooh,
points. Whoops.
yay.
Oh, there we go. Now I get to lock that so I don't accidentally delete our questions. Ah. All right. So, second question for 200 points, still in geography, because if this is a weird format, we might move to going all of the hundreds, then the 200 and the 300. Do y'all think that'd be better? Doing all of geography or doing all of like the hundreds and then all the 200s?
I'd
Which
say
would
all
y'all
the
prefer?
hundreds.
All
Yeah,
the
I think
In the
hundreds?
all the hundreds
hundreds.
because I'm real bad at geography.
All right. Hey, honesty is the policy. All right. I'm going to recheck the. All right. All right. We're doing good so far. Sorry, I was opening chat to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. Literature for 100 points. So, for 100 points, who wrote Frankenstein? Relatively simple.
Oh,
One of the only books I've actually ever read that school wanted us to read. Everything else was Spark Notes or I lied, but they didn't catch me, so close enough. Horseshoes, hand grenades. All right. I hope everyone has had enough time to remember the author of one of the absolute classics. So, Piper, for 100 points, who wrote Frankenstein?
I taught this book. It's Mary Shelley.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right. Putty, for 100 points, who wrote Frankenstein?
It is Mary Shelley, the first person who wrote sci-fi.
Ooh. Is Frankenstein considered sci-fi?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, Vapor Skull. I
Ooh.
think it's a dead giveaway given the format of of this game
Oh
show.
yeah.
But who, for
Just
100
go with the
points,
teacher's answers.
for 100 points, who wrote Frankenstein?
I mean, I already knew this anyway, but it's Mary Shelley. Yeah.
Perfect. I may in future episodes have y'all write an answer in Discord so no one can change it last minute. But also,
Mm.
if it's fun that way, I'm not terribly bothered by it. But yes, everyone does get 100 points. It is Mary Shelley.
Yay.
I am never forgetting that because my teacher named her cat Mary Shelley and would only call her Mary Shelley. Not Mary, not Shelley. Always Mary Shelley.
One of those people. Oh.
That's weird.
I also learned apparently, I don't know how true it is, whether or not it is true, but apparently cats have a bacteria that they can carry sometimes that can, like, it affects, if like, they like spread it around on stuff
It
like
affects
food
babies.
bowls and it like can affect
Mm.
humans somewhat, but it's really good against mice. where mice will stop caring less about the cat being there, so it's easier for the cat to hunt them. So like if the like mouse or whatever's going around like the cat's food bowl, they end up getting some of the bacteria like on them, and then over time like they ingest it a little bit. The cat or the mouse will suddenly stop caring that the cat exists, and then the cat can kill the mouse because it's not bothered by the cat, which is weird, but
Ooh.
I guess it's true.
Huh.
Also, just
Someone in your chat has said
oh
toxoplasmosis.
that could very well be it. That sounds like a very
That
smart word, so I'm
sounds
going.
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that's a thing cats carry. I didn't know the mouse thing, but yeah, that's wild.
Hmm.
Yeah, I actually learned about that last night, so I'm glad it came up.
Ooh.
All right, yes, that's the one. It's in their poop. Well,
Oh, and
oh
Matchbox the scientist, so
yes,
there you go.
I trust Dr. Science on this
Oh.
one.
Somebody commented in my chat to say that bacteria is now affecting wolves at Yellowstone Park. So the infected wolves are splitting off to find cats.
Really, that's
What?
pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're a teacher as well, so I'd probably trust them on
Yeah.
that.
All right, I can bank on those points. All right, cool. That's weird that we went from Frankenstein to cats, but the natural course. All right, moving on. We have math for 100 points. I think this one's gonna really, really, really stump y'all. All right. So for 100 points, what's 2 plus 2?
Oh shit.
I'm gonna give everyone a couple of seconds to think about this one. Back in the day, I really struggled with math. Fun fact about me: I absolutely do not know my multiplication tables. That's the word. Because when I was learning them in like whatever grade I was learning them in, I forget. In U.S. schools, a lot of the time, at least when I was going through school, the younger kids had these like nameplates on their desk. I say nameplates, like pieces of paper that the teachers taped like a million pieces of tape on, and it had your name and it had a couple other things on it, like it was like a small ruler and all that. But it had the multiplication chart in the corner. So when we did the test for multiplication, I just looked at the chart because it's there. So I never learned them. So then one day when the teacher took all our nameplates away because she knew we were using them for all the tests, I got to we're on like our sixes and I was like, huh, I really don't know math, and I never learned them.
Damn.
So hopefully everyone
Wow.
has had enough time
I feel like it
to.
was the same thing in my class as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I've talked about it before, and people have not known what I was talking about. IRL, I don't think I've talked about it on stream before, but I don't know. That's a thing that happened in U.S. schools. So,
Wow.
all right. I hope everyone's had enough time. Yeah, someone said public school mood. Absolutely. Our school's cafeteria had holes in the walls that all of us would just poke. It was a thing. For 100 points, Piper, what's 2 plus 2?
We could start with Putty first. I don't mind. We can take turns.
Just an answer that you're confident in. It doesn't have to be correct.
Oh. 2-2.
2-2. I'll accept it. Putty, for 100 points, what's 2 plus 2?
Well, as you know, I am a math teacher.
Ooh,
And
so you're
that
gonna
is
have a
how
pretty
I
confident
know,
answer.
without a doubt, 2 plus 2 is potato.
A fair answer. Usually doesn't work into my
Yes.
equations, but I'm not a math person. I see 16 minus 9. I don't see a difference of squares. I see 16 minus 9, which is a number. So there's some work in there, some work room in there. Paper Skull, for 100 points, what's 2 plus 2?
69.
A fair answer. A very, very nice answer.
Oh, man.
Um,
Very
uh, uh,
Should have done the sex number.
I'll give full points all around. I know this one's a bit This one was a bit of a stumper, so I'll give some leeway with people. Potato is definitely viable. They started putting letters in it, so I'll give that some leeway. The correct answer is technically 4, but I would have accepted 3 or 5 just to give a little grace in there. So I'm gonna
-1.
I'm gonna give out everyone 100 points, and I have to unlock that layer of my Illustrator tab.
Yay!
Oh,
Somebody in your
We've done it.
chat commented about how they have to cover the boards when there's a test because all the multiplication tables are on the back.
really?
Yeah, and so if you have any posters that are related to your subject, nope, you gotta cover them with newspaper.
Yes.
All right, fair enough. I haven't been in
Yeah.
a classroom that had stuff in it for a while. Throughout pretty much all of high school, my classrooms were buried, which I hated, made me go insane. Also, I definitely made us not learn on a few occasions in world history because my teacher, and I knew he was really, really distracted by current events. I could just say one thing and we wouldn't do class that day. And that was probably my favorite class I've ever had.
I had a
Oh.
math class where I was put in it for like extra help sort of situation,
Mhm.
and it was mostly like I thought it was gonna be kids that struggled with math, and it was mostly like gangster kids and like adolescent kids, and me and
Mm.
my friend were in it, and it's I don't know, some way the teacher explained it, it suddenly like clicked with us, whatever we were learning, and we were like, "Oh, okay, all right, I get this." We did every test in like 5 minutes, and the rest of the class started to get mad at us because we were smarter than them.
You're
He told us to like he was like, "Can you guys just slow down because we like finish our tests and then go to sleep in class."
No, I had when I actually started high school, I was taking a geometry class. That class was awful. That was horrible. I hated that class because it wasn't like the class was terribly hard. The teacher just refused to teach geometry. She would talk about anything else, and that was like a case of like not like I was distracted in class because I already knew history and I didn't care. This was she wouldn't teach us the class, which was a source of anger for me. I don't know, annoyance for me.
No,
Also, people are getting
I
like
feel
whole
that.
paragraphs in the chat. I have to read through these super quick. First off, apparently
Progress in chat, Lucas.
standardized testing was allegedly originally supposed to be for teachers, which is pretty interesting. Um, I've had teachers make me sit back down with my test because I finished too fast.
I've had that too.
That is a pretty solid flex, Aaron, but I will accept it. All right, we should probably continue with the game part of this game show. So, science for 100 points. We'll see what our question is because I don't remember what it is. Geology is the study of what? I made this whole thing like 3 weeks ago, so I forgot whatever the answer to all the questions were. I had to earlier today re-Google them to make sure I was right, and then put a notes tab in my phone so I wouldn't forget them. So hopefully my explanation of that was long enough for everyone to remember what geology is. It is not, in fact, the study of. I had a pun that I instantly forgot because I thought it and then I started speaking again. So there was something funny in there. I'm sure you were supposed to laugh at.
Haha.
Nice.
We'll mix it
We
up a little
trust
bit.
you.
We'll mix it up a little bit. So for 100 points, Vapor Skull. What is geology the study of?
uh, rock.
Rock?
Yeah, just rock.
Yeah, I big fan actually of rock. That could be the actor, the music category, or rocks. But technically, you said rock, so I'll go with singular on that singular point. Um, School of Rock. That's the movie. I was speaking nonsense trying to remember what the movie was called. Um,
Ah.
I was just trying to remember it. I didn't have any funny way to to deliver that. But I did remember what it was. So, Putty, for 100 points, what is the study, or geology is the study of what?
Which rocks taste the best?
That there is an answer to that, and it is igneous rocks because they're spicy. Um,
Mm,
a
yeah.
fair answer, a fair answer. So for 100 points, last but not least, Piper, what do you think geology is the study of?
Oh, you already gave me the answer because you talked about School of Rocks. I'm going to say Jack Black.
Jack Black is a fairly good answer. So, saying School of Rock is fairly confident. I think that's where I was trying to go with that. Um, Once again, I'm going to give points all around, which isn't going to happen every time, I promise. I just like y'all's answers.
Yeah.
Technically, the answer is rocks. So, pretty good all around. I completely forgot I need to unlock that layer. This is super jank the way I have to do this, so I apologize for it taking 9 million years. But if I didn't do it this way, I would delete the questions as I deleted the bar. So, we win some, we lose some. I just win a lot more than, or I lose a lot more than I win. Alright, so, what the hell was I saying? Oh, history for 100 points. 100 points. I'm not Alex. Don't mention the Jeopardy, or the J show on this, or my lawyer team said we're going to do copyright. What is the term for years before the current era? Few different things. It's been debated. There's been a few different calendars. Some people just didn't care about history. It's a thing that happens sometimes when other things happen. Sometimes you get the bubonic plague gets in the way. Sometimes it's the Ninth Crusade. I don't know. Sometimes things happen, but
Mm.
generally nowadays we have a term for this. Um, we're going to do weird ones. So, Putty, not as in you're weird. We're going to do a weird order. My apologies. For 100
Thanks.
points, what is the term for years before the? Or yeah, sorry, I read my question wrong. What is the term for years before the current era?
So actually, there's BCE, which stands for Before Common Era, and that's what I'm going with.
Okay, a fair response. I was going to send a message into my own chat. I had a pop up warning me that I had to reply to my own rules, follow my own rules in my own chat. So I've given up on messaging in my own chat.
Yeah, I remember Streamlabs used to always do that where I'd try and type something. It's like, and, oh my god.
My stream is really going to make me follow my own rules. What's the point then? If I can't be God Emperor of my own stream, why stream? Um, so Vapor School, because I
Yes.
can choose weird orders. What is the term for years before the current era?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, every day is a new era when you're on the come up. All right, I can get behind that. Piper, for 100 points, what is the term for years before the current era?
Okay, I know that it's 2 or 3 individual letters, so I'm gonna go with PP.
Definitely not where I thought you were gonna go with that, but I'm happy you did.
Post past.
This is our first one where we have officially 2 correct answers. I'm going to say 2 correct answers because I'm not going to get into a fight about whether we want to use the science or the religious term on this one. We could use not AD, BC, which could stand for before Christ, or BCE, before Common Era, and I use BC because that's what I know. I'm American. It's a big surprise on that one. Um, Full points because PP was a funny answer. I liked yesterday, and before current era is technically correct. I would have accepted Skyrim's response, which is just imagine you don't live in a world where people care about what the other eras are. So, those all work. Those are all fine. Maybe our last question where we get full points moving into the 200s. If I can unlock this layer, we'll get back to it. Someone say something funny while I do this, because I'm trying to read
Something
chat.
funny.
You know what? That is what I asked for. I think I had that one coming.
So I don't understand why it goes, BC before Christ, and then they decide, oh no, actually we're gonna go with Latin after Christ, so Anno
Right?
Domini, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I
Pick a
mean,
lane.
before Christ, I'm pretty sure they were speaking Latin, so like, why wouldn't that be the Latin one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
The thing I always thought was weird is that, and I didn't come up with this reason. I read this online somewhere. Is that when I was reading a thing about an argument about like whether it should be scientific or still be religious focused, whether to switch it to before Christ or before current era, it's still centered around Jesus. Like it's still focused around him. So whether you call it something different, he's still the focal point. I want to see a whole calendar change where we mess up everything. We go back. We do it on like the fall of Constantinople instead. And do like just some whack stuff. I think that would be funny, but I also don't want to have to switch to a new calendar because the U.S. is a bully and won't switch to the metric system. So I have to learn 2 different ways in science, and I hate it. The fact that I have to calculate the difference between Fahrenheit and Celsius is dumb. I don't know. I can't remember that many equations. I had to do a titration lab 3 times because I kept forgetting what I was doing with the conversion. But that was different. That's moles and atoms and stuff no one, I think, except me or, I don't know, maybe some people here care. I'm going to stop ranting.
Somebody that commented in my chat to say AD is so it's not just Catholic or Christian, and then someone else said because Romans were ruling after Christ died.
True, they were for. Oh, they were ruling in the
I
area.
mean, they were also the reason that Christ kind of died, but
Yeah, it shifts over time.
We're getting
Yeah,
religious.
details.
Beep,
Details.
beep.
We got to click the button.
you
click
know,
the
if we
button.
went by the burning of Alexandria,
Somebody make a
we could
politics
name
joke
it
to bounce
PB
it.
for pre-burning or peanut
A
butter.
pre-burning?
PB pre-burning.
Oh, Piper Bensay.
I've been around my other VTuber friends so much that I didn't think you were gonna say something family friendly like peanut butter. I thought it was gonna be like penis butter for some reason, and I was just fully prepared for that. So I was taken aback when it
Oh
was
no.
just
No, I save that for when I drive down the road and I see a hot boiled penis sign.
nice.
You should just go with PB. It can be
Uh,
whatever you like.
No, it's weird because that actually reminded me.
Close to the poor.
There's a really big like traffic area in Texas that we have to go through sometimes. With like when you pretty much anytime you go near Dallas, you have to go near the PGBT, which is the President George Bush Turnpike. But when I first asked someone who was talking about it, someone just mentioned it as the PGBT. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And my stepdad goes, "Oh, it's the President Goofy Bastard Turnpike," because it just worked. It just worked with the letters, and it was funny. And from then on, I didn't realize he wasn't being serious because I was still relatively young. So I legitimately was like, "Huh." I guess that's what it's called.
Let me just get
So-
rid of the say so and say for work tags.
Whoops, sorry.
That's
So,
all right.
I teach a class called AFDA, and it
Mhm.
stands for Algebra Functions and Data Analysis. But when I explained that to my dad, he literally came up with the best when he said, "Oh, algebra for dumbasses?"
Oh,
And I was like,
Fitting.
"You're not wrong, actually."
Oh.
that's
The
good
only one
to
that I can think of is PhD being permanent head damage.
Well,
But that's not as good as you guys is.
I didn't make mine up. I just thought mine was funny.
Oh.
All right, so we do a game show? I think we should. All right, back up to the top. Just wipe it back around. And weirdly enough, Putty, I'm actually really bad at geography too. So for 200 points, we have our next geography question, which is going to be, what is the prime meridian? That is not, well, actually, I guess technically it is a made up thing. But the prime meridian does not exist. I promise it may or may not be a real thing. All things are things. All things are things. You either are or are not a thing, which is definitely me filling the space and the gap of having some sort of conversation to give a little bit of time because I realize I read super fast. But maybe I've rambled on long enough that we all have an answer. Putty, I'm going to put you on the spot because you said you were bad at geography. For 200 points, what is the prime meridian?
So, okay, you know how the equator goes around Earth's tummy? Prime meridian is the same thing but up on the globe. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with.
All right.
The
All
equator,
right,
but the other way.
all right, I can get behind that as an answer. All right, since we did Vapor second last time, we'll do Piper for 200 points. What is the prime meridian?
Oh, I thought that there were several meridian thingies around the Earth. So obviously I don't teach geography, but I'm gonna go with the equator just because Putty said a little bit up from the equator. So I'm gonna go with the equator.
No, it's like the equator, but it goes up and down instead of side to side.
Oh,
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay. Well, I'll go with the equator itself. Like it's a nickname. It's the nickname.
All right. All right, Vapor Skull, last but not least, for 200 points. What do you think the prime meridian is?
I'm gonna assume it's not a transformer.
Uh, actually, there may be one. I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, I'm gonna go with transformer then.
Transformer. All right, so and I'm gonna look it up because it has very strange wording. I want to give you all the official answer. I'm definitely not typing that into Google right now because I was too lazy to write it down in my textbook. No, not prime meridian
What
time.
would the Prime Meridian's enemy be if they were a transformer?
If I knew what
The
it was to begin with, I could give you an answer to that.
Dude,
All right.
what if there was just a transformer that was a giant clock and it was daylight savings? No, it can turn into a giant clock or it can turn into a bank and it's daylight savings time.
And they just refer to him as DST. I'd be scared even more than I am now of DST.
Yeah.
Dark Souls time.
All right, so the official or quote unquote official Google answer is a prime meridian is an arbitrary meridian in a geographic coordinate system at which longitude is defined to be 0. Together, a prime meridian and its anti-meridian form a great circle. This great circle divides a spheroid like Earth into two hemispheres, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. So it is the line. It's the line that goes down the middle of Earth, pretty much. It's also it defines Greenwich Mean Time.
It is the nickname for the
Definition
equator.
kept saying meridian, and I don't know what that means.
The answer that I did write down in my answers tab was just the one in the middle, which wasn't going to help me. So I'm glad I did that earlier. All right, I'm going to award points all around because I don't want to have to define everyone's answers against my own. I think that's lame. So we are going to give around points ever. I promise I'm not usually this generous. I'll start cracking down.
Somebody in
we're
my
so
chat
good
said
at
those are
this."
definitely words.
They are definitely words. I can promise you at least that much. Maybe not more, but at least that much.
Yeah, whose line is it anyway?
It feels we're not close enough that I think the lawyers are getting concerned, but we're getting close enough that the people are starting to get ideas.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know what that noise was. For 200 points, we're going to our literature category, which is going to words. Homer wrote the Odyssey in what other major classical poem? The text didn't say classical. I added that. Maybe or maybe that's not helpful. Maybe or maybe that's not cheating. I make up the rules. No one is a higher power than me in this, so I don't think it matters. Oh my god, I'm gonna cough so bad. Give me 1 second.
Oof.
If I sound
think
like
the
I have
chat's
too much
playing
nose.
along.
The one that was torture to read. Absolutely a correct answer. I give you 200 points, Aaron. I also cough super bad. I'm still probably stuffy. You probably can't tell if my voice sounds more or less nasally, but if it does, that's because I've been sick this week, and I'm very sorry that I sound this way. I can't help it. My face was swallowed by 90% nose, so I always sound like this. All right. For 200 points, Piper, because you haven't gone first in quite a while. Homer wrote the
Ooh.
Odyssey in what other major classical poem?
I think I know the right answer. I think it's. I'm wondering whether to go with the right one or a funny one. I'm gonna go with the right one. I'm gonna say the Iliad.
A very good answer. I've watched the movie Troy at least once in my life, so I feel I'm an expert on the subject. Aegon said it's Twilight. A pretty fair answer. Don't think I've ever read them. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure those started out as a fanfic, I think, and then the author who wrote 50 Shades of Grey was a fan fiction author. I'm fairly confident I remember that. I'm not an expert on those. I just believe I've heard that before. From where, I don't know. However, for 200 points, Vapor, Homer wrote the Odyssey in what other major poem? Oh.
I tried. I'm trying to think of a Simpsons answer to this, but I've never watched enough Simpsons to know. I honestly have no
Steamed
idea.
hams.
Steamed
Someone said
hams.
steamed
Yes.
Steamed hams.
Yes, Eggman. Steamed hams.
Yeah.
Yeah, steamed hams.
Aegon also said the Iliad is a fanfic, which, you know what? I'm going to accept as an answer too. 200 points
So
for
was my
Aegon.
immortal Aegon.
Some great answers. Last but certainly not least, Putty. Homer wrote the Odyssey in what other major poem?
I don't want to do the right answer. I want to do a fun answer, but everyone keeps naming my favorite poems. So the thing about 50 Shades is it was actually written by Homer. Really great. So it's actually a trilogy. There's 50 Shades of whatever. There's 50 Shades Darker. And there's 50 Shades Freed. It's his trilogy of poems. It's beautiful. And yeah, it was originally written as Twilight fanfic because Homer was ahead of his time.
All right. I'll accept those answers. The Iliad is, of course, correct, so Pepper obviously gets 200.
Yay!
Steamed Hands was an answer for chat, so I actually gave those. I'm going to give those 200 points to Aegon. So sorry on this one, Vapor Skull. You're our first person that missed.
That's all right.
Putty, a great response. I'm going to give you the points because the movie Troy definitely pretended that Achilles did not have something going for the other guy by giving him the role of cousin instead of the role of lover, which is 100% definitely what happened. I will die on that boat. History is weird. So, Putty, I will also give you 200 points. I said a lot of words. What I mean to say by that is in the movie Troy, instead of making Achilles probably definitely have that other guy as a lover, they made him his cousin, which definitely was very weird.
I too am a stan of gay Achilles.
All
So
right.
I actually read the 50 Shades trilogy because a really old lady, like she was in her 70s, she started gossiping about it in my knitting circle. And
Oh.
I had to find out. It sounded juicy.
Well,
You'd
that's
be
definitely
surprised how excited old people can get about such things. I'm scared.
I'm gonna be honest. Never ventured down the road, but I'm glad. You know what? I'm happy for him. I'm happy that when I get old, God, I hope I don't. When I get old, I'm glad that there's still going to be something out there for me. That being said, a pretty good round. A lot of great responses coming in the chat, as in Sweet Home Alabama, fantastic. I'm a little too close to that state to be happy about it, but a good response. Then someone said Poth the Homer, and then I'm going to say that that's as an answer, but it's very funny. I don't even know how you get those. Are those symbols? Those aren't symbols on a keyboard. That's got to be like on Google board or something.
B, you know you're a skeleton, right?
Wow.
I think you're already old.
You didn't have to mention it, but you did, and I'm going to be okay. I promise.
I do know that most of the skeleton VTuber community consists of people over the age of 30. So
Huh.
Whoops.
I guess that's just how we
Except for
see
me.
ourselves.
I'm the only one who's actually young. I'm in my prime.
Aegon, who is also a skeleton, said that's extremely lewd and considered it profiling. And you know what? I'm glad he's sticking up for me. I've got to have someone on my side. All right. So our $200 math question, not $200. I'm not giving you money. I am quite poor.
I forget Bash Cap's
Aw,
probably
B.
younger than me. Never mind.
Points. 200 channel points.
200. I don't have channel points yet. It would be lovely.
Oh.
But moving into our 200 phase for math, what is pie commonly reduced to? And if you say the leftover pie crust, I'm going to accept that as an answer, but now I don't because I just laughed at my own joke and it's not fair. That being said, I had pecan pie over the holidays and I was very happy about it. If I just stole your answer, I'm sorry, but I said that as something to fill the space. Whoopsie daisy. I give myself 200 points. Also, I just heard someone say I'm good at math in the chat, so very strange that my it blocked the other day. It blocked the word "but," but it didn't block meth. What is it? What are these standards? I think those are a little mixed around. All right, nothing else. Nothing else. What the hell am I saying? I think that's gonna be enough time. So, Vapor, I don't think you've gone first in a hot second. What is pi commonly reduced to for 200 points?
3.26.
Okay.
I don't know what I mean by that answer, but there you go.
if it confused you, it confused me, and that's got to be worth something.
there
Who
you
hasn't gone? Piper, I don't think you've gone second in a while. I
Oh.
don't know. I'm forgetting. What is pi commonly reduced to for 200 points? And I'm pretty sure I took your answer the first time, so I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Well, I know that reduced means to make smaller, so I'm gonna say that pi is commonly reduced to p. Just the
Not
sound
not
p.
not not the interpretation I was going for, but one that surprised me. Putty, what is pi commonly reduced to for 200 points?
So when I was an undergrad, I already knew Spanish, so I wanted to take something weird. And Russian was across campus, so I took ancient Greek, and it's actually pronounced P.
Oh.
The letter is pronounced P.
What? Oh wait, hold on. Let's go back to the
What?
story. Russia was across campus, so you took Greek.
So I took ancient Greek, yes. Specifically ancient Greek. It is not useful.
Oh, okay. I was like, you went to the Russian class and you got taught Greek. The teacher was like, psych.
No, I just didn't want to walk that far.
Oh, okay.
I was
Like,
when you
what the hell?
when you started bringing up other languages at first, I was very concerned So
It was a very simple fact.
so I was very concerned on how this is going. So is your answer P?
No, it's 3.14.
3.14.
I just wanted you to know.
You know what?
About the P.
Fun facts absolutely help you out in this case. If you had said it was reduced to P as in the letter, that would have been very similar to Piper's answer, and I would have accepted both. I'm going to give full points all around because I thought everyone had pretty good answers. Vapor, yours confused me as well, and if it confused you too, it's good enough for me.
All right, sounds good.
Close enough.
Anything, it's in this channel we're all horseshoes, hand grenades, and government work. It's all close enough. Yes, I'm pretty sure I've already broken my own rules for this game, but I made the rules, and this is the first episode, so if we need to break them, we can break them. It's like a bone; they come back stronger. Or any
Well,
shonen
usually
character.
pi is it's rounded up anyway. Like, you get rid of the decimal points, so you could say any number.
Fair enough. You know what? Math is weird about it all the time. So I'm gonna say it's 6 because I'm basing it on diameter, not ratio. I don't know where I was going with that.
Your model is glitching out to be angry and ooh at the same time.
I'm also looking weird
Yeah.
ways. I haven't looked at my Streamlabs in a second. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, it's because I clicked 9 million buttons at the same time. Whoopsie daisy. I should probably fix my emotions.
Me,
We
IRL.
all, really.
Alright, now that I'm not clicking that, I should be able to... Oh, no, I'm crying now. Whoops. There we go.
Me, IRL.
I forgot that I had those linked to buttons. I always forget. I'll be in the middle of like playing a game, and I'll look over and I'm crying and angry at the same time. Which sometimes is accurate, but sometimes I've clicked the wrong buttons.
Sometimes your model goes to the back, and then it runs to the front, and then it runs to the back again.
That's because I have a Z-axis and I lean back in my chair a lot, or it loses my tracking, which is weirdly something it likes to spaz out and do, so...
Oh.
Sorry, I'm not a model. I am real. I do exist. Don't mind the pictures that exist of my arm on Twitter. Those aren't real. To cover my embarrassment, we're going to move on to our next question, which is science for 200. And I have literally no idea what this could be. It could be absolutely anything. I'm going to be just as surprised as you are. I'm going to try not to reveal 2 questions at the same time.
Oh, it says you've minimized your application. I don't know.
Uh-oh. Why? Why has it done that? Uh-oh. Can y'all... Can y'all not see me? Okay. Whoopsie daisy. It's because I clicked out of the... Well, I'm going to have to pull up... Alright, don't worry. I'm going to have to pull up Task Manager to get my mouse back. I don't know why it does that, but it does it sometimes. It's because I closed my projector. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, cool. So streams... They were talking about in Discord. I have it projected for them there so they can see it. So that's my bad. So whoopsie daisy. Science for 200, which we've been sitting on for a hot second, and I'm getting more embarrassed by the moment. Science for 200 is, what is the purpose of the mitochondria in the cell? That is a real word. That I'm going to go with that as my answer. I'm going to give you all 1 second because I'm going to sneeze very loudly and I don't have to do it into the mic. Alright, I definitely did not just dad sneeze, but I 100% did. I'm lying to you constantly. It's a problem. Alright, so for 200 points, Putty, I don't think you've gone first in a minute. What is the purpose of the mitochondria in the cell?
So, you know that book series, God, what is the name of it? I know the other books in the series, okay? So there's, the one I'm thinking of particular is Wind in the Door. It is, friggin', God, most people just know the first one. Wrinkle in Time! Thank you, Aaron, for being the other half of my brain! So, y'all know the Wrinkle in Time book, right? No one ever reads past that book. But if you do, she actually wrote a whole friggin' book talking about mitochondria inside this little boy. It's called Wind in the Door. And it goes all the way down into the mitochondria. And I wish I was joking right now. But I'm not.
Alright.
So
also, I would...
Mitochondria sing inside your body, and that is what Madeline Lingle taught me.
A very impassioned answer. And I'm just going to go ahead and say I 100% got flamed in the chat. Yes, that does say mitochondria, not mitochondria. I did not proofread this at all. I guarantee you there's going to be at least one other in here. I I started the stream by actually having an error in the first thing I read in my text, so whoopsie. My apologies. So I was having to read that. Well, Putty was very emoji kanji. Oh no, I didn't want to read that. I wish I didn't look down.
The emoji chondria make the fifis, the feelings inside your body. That's where they come from.
All right. Vapor Skull for 200 points. What is the purpose of the mitochondria in the cell?
If fourth grade science is correct, it's the powerhouse.
Powerhouse of the cell. A common answer I have seen online. I don't remember that far back, mainly because when I was taking that class and we were talking about mitochondria, my science teacher got called to jury duty for, I'm pretty sure, a homicide. So we didn't do much down that time. Real
What?
They
story.
commit the homicide, or?
No, they were on jury duty. They were on jury duty.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay, I was like, what?
But we didn't do anything in
They
class.
didn't do it.
I spent literally that entire time in class talking with my friend about a show we were watching, which at the time I think we were trying to name every episode of SpongeBob we could think of off the top of our heads. We went on for multiple class periods talking about that.
That is incorrect, Vapor. Shut up, Hagen.
But without dragging on and wasting Piper's time to answer, Piper, for 200 points, what is the purpose of the mitochondria in the cell?
Well, considering the typo, at first I was going to go with nothing because it doesn't exist, but we're gonna pretend it's mitochondria. So, it's okay. Our syllabus is a bit different where I am, so we never learned this thingy because who cares? But also, how does that help me in real life? How does that help me in real life? But I'm gonna say it's that what Vapor Skull sounded right, but I'm gonna go with Powerpuff.
Powerpuff.
The Powerpuff of the cell.
The
I wanted to
Powerpuff
learn
of the
how to
cell.
do
Tells me
taxes.
that.
I wanted to learn how to do
Tells me
taxes and got shown how to square dance instead.
Shown how to
American
square
education.
dance. I actually, I did learn to square dance in elementary school. I did learn that. I thought that
I
was a
did
Texas
too.
thing. That's very strange.
Florida does it too.
I'm not too far from you. So.
Florida does it too. Okay, cool. Vapor gets points because the answer I've written down too is it's the powerhouse of the cell. I liked Putty's impassioned cry for her answer for Madeline Lang. I think you
Langle.
said Langle. Sorry.
Madeline
Langle.
Langle.
And Powerpuff is definitely out there, and I think I remember them having a germ on that show. Right? Was there a dude that was just straight up a germ?
Yes.
No,
The
there
Amoeba
was.
Boys.
It was
The Amoeba Boys.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Amoeba Boys.
Right. For that strange connection, also because I just loved watching the Powerpuff Girls when I was younger. No, I'm gonna say that's not in the same context as my brother really loving Hannah Montana as a kid. I'm also gonna give you 200 points because there's a connection there and it works. Also, everyone gets leniency
Yay.
because I definitely did not give the correct question, and I need to unlock this thing again. There we go. Things worth 200 points. God, y'all are going up in points. I'm gonna have to start doing math too.
Someone in the chat, well, my chat said the emoji chondria is the powerhouse of the chat.
True.
That is a fantastic answer,
I
actually.
love it.
All right, history for 200, which I've started saying it before I had it selected, so I'm going to say it again. History for 200. The term czar has origins from what other title? There's quite a few titles. There's quite a few words that connect to this other title. Without giving it away, I'm going to stop talking, which is the best way to do that, in fact. So Piper, I don't think you've gone first in the last couple of questions.
Question.
Go for it.
Isn't it CZAR?
Yeah.
I thought the Russian
Spelled
one was.
multiple ways
I thought the
because
Russian one
it's
had a
in the
T.
Russian alphabet.
Oh, I didn't know there was different spellings of it. Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
I had no clue.
Czar.
That's what I googled when I googled it for the answer. So that's the one I went with. If it is wrong and someone does know it better, I'm not counting as a typo because I'm an American. I don't have to care about other cultures, which is a joke. I'm sorry. I care about other cultures a lot. There's a ton of different cultures in America, so it's actually a huge point for me to try and learn about other ones. A funny nationality joke. So, Piper. The term czar has origins from what other historical title?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I'm trying to think of a funny one to try and dig myself out of this hole. Tsar. Well, there is a style of Chinese dining, like Eastern dining, called zi cha, which is like getting different kinds of dishes a la carte. So I'm gonna say Chinese food.
All right, actually, for the sake of culture, I find that a pretty good answer. I didn't know that was a thing. I also learned about that in China. Apparently, Pizza Hut is like a restaurant you sit down at, is like a thing,
Yes,
because it's like
yes.
higher class over there. And I thought that was interesting. I know that because I had a history teacher that loved going to China. He went there like once a year, so he had a lot to say about it.
Ooh.
Um, so that was pretty cool. Um, uh, Putty, for 200 points, the term Tsar has origins from what other title?
So, much like the German Kaiser, the word Tsar comes from Caesar.
Cool. A very, very historic. I just did a weird like T hand motion while talking. I don't know what I was doing there, but a very fine answer. And Vapor Skull, for 200 points, the term Tsar has origins from what other title?
I'm gonna go with MF Doom only because MF Doom, the rapper, often collabed with another rapper called Czar.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. I was definitely not expecting that to hear MF Doom. Um, so for surprising me and making me laugh because I just think that's a funny name, we're definitely gonna give points all around. I like the actually learning about new culture stuff that I never heard about. The correct answer is in fact Caesar or Caesar, whatever you want to say. I always say it wrong. I also did not know that the Little Caesars mascot was Caesar. I thought it was a caveman. Whoopsie daisy. And
Oh.
MF Doom is something that I just find funny to hear. So points all around.
I got a quick question. Sorry, real quick.
Yay.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you mind if I go get food super duper quick?
Yeah, we can
I
wait for
should
you.
have gotten before stream. Okay, I'll be right.
You're
I'll be
absolutely
right back.
fine.
Okay, one.
To avoid being racist, everyone gets
Oh.
points.
Not necessarily the case, but if that's the way we look at it, it's fine. There we go. Aha. Cool. Filling a little bit of space when he goes to eat. I actually had an enchilada. No, not enchilada. I had a quesadilla for my dinner, which I also ate at like 4:30. So I'm probably gonna be hungry again before bed. Whoopsie daisy.
Whoops.
Is 50%
You're zooming
obesity
in and
briefly?
out.
Oh, I leaned in to read my phone. Whoopsie daisy. I saw Pete Czar, which is pretty good.
That's good.
What was I reading?
I've got some answers here. Caesar salad.
Yeah.
The Star Wars version of. Oh, it's like a shortened version of Star Wars.
Hmm.
That makes sense, yeah.
I think I get where they're coming from. Also, someone said, "Is 50% opacity briefly?" Did something go 50% opacity? Was it me?
Oh, no, he's saying that because he's got to leave real quick.
Okay. Oh, whoops.
Oh.
I've lost my mouse again. Whoops. There we go. Just click out of that. I don't know why it does the stuff it does, but sometimes I have to quickly open my there's a word. My task manager. That's it. Definitely did not forget one of the most basic computer things. But yeah, no. What was I saying? What was it? I lost it. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not that old. Why do I forget things so much? It's awful. I'd forget my own name if I didn't remember it. And I've forgotten my own name. When I was making my account, like all my stuff for all my accounts for all the stream stuff, I forgot my own name. I forgot it. It changed twice because I kept typing different things. That's why my name is so weird. Because it's like the third version of it. I also definitely, when I started streaming, accidentally said my own real name instead of saying my name. So until those VODs disappeared, I 100% definitely said my own name on stream before. Whoopsie daisy.
Same.
Oh,
Early
some people
on,
have. Oh.
like your first couple of streams are just super rough.
I always forget
But
it.
it's cool because no one's there.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember the literal first time I ever had a viewer. I was playing Fallout New Vegas, and this was when I was back streaming on YouTube. I was playing Fallout New Vegas, and then just a random. I was just playing, and I was so focused, and I looked over, and a dude had typed in the chat like 30 minutes ago, and I was like, huh. So I responded to what he said, and he was still there. He'd just been watching me sit in silence for like 30 minutes, and I was super happy about it.
Wow.
But also, who watches me sit in silence for 30 minutes? So I'd been like my 5th stream, and no one had ever stopped in or anything. It's like, huh? All right, well, I guess this is my life now. So I was just playing in silence.
That's a dedicated fan right there.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first person that ever watched me stream. He both liked and commented on that video, in fact.
That's nice.
Yeah, he also had a streamer to himself for like an hour because he didn't leave, and I was just talking to him. I was just talking to him in chat, so I
Yeah, a
like
few people in my chat are saying that they've been there as well, like forgetting their YouTuber, VTuber names, having multiple names to remember. Yeah.
that's why I've never forgotten I'm gonna call him a mascot, and I'm sure that's not the correct term I should be using, but he's technically a mascot. It's Nathaniel, who I have as a sock puppet that I'm not going to risk turning my camera on for because it's definitely full screen, so any mess up 100% fills my screen, so we're gonna be careful on that. But I have a sock puppet of him. He's actually my Twitter profile picture. I don't forget his name because it's my Steam name. It's Nathaniel. So I've every time I log on now, it's always Nathaniel. So I haven't forgotten him. And it would be weird if I did, because lore-wise, he's supposed to be my best friend. I realize the irony and sadness of having made up my own best friend.
You could always do one of those things where like um, chat can like use channel points to make him talk. That would be super cute.
That would be cool.
Like
I've
get a
seen,
little Nathaniel for the bottom of the screen.
yeah, I've seen someone that has it's pretty much just reactive images, a reactive image, but it does TTS, and people can pay channel points to make it say stuff, which I think it's
Like,
pretty cool. I've used it when I watch them. But the thing with that is I have to actually get to affiliate first, and we're about halfway there. We have 28 followers, so we went up 2 followers this stream. So we've got a little bit further to go, but we're definitely at least halfway, which is more than I was expecting when I started on Twitch. I was expecting it to be like YouTube, and I got like 2 people over the course of like 5 months. So it's definitely been going a lot better on this side.
so chat,
That's
and
Hmm.
also Piper's chat, and Vapor's chat. Follow this man. Follow this
Yes,
skeleton.
yeah.
Yeah,
Follow him.
I want to
Do
reach affiliate at the very least, just to unlock emotes and channel points for the sake of being able to do interaction stuff like that. Cause they're fun. They're just fun to have.
I have
Oh,
returned.
I forgot how to
Oh,
shout
no.
people out. That.
I don't know how to do that. There's a
Exclamation point shout out, I think.
I've
Oh.
done it.
Yeah. I finally made it work the other day after trying like every other possible combination.
that work?
Yes.
I sent a message in my chat and I don't know if it worked. I'll figure it out before end of stream. I'll make sure everyone gets a shout out if I can remember how that works.
Okay, just adjust my.
Wait, was it just that I said Putty's name wrong? I'm pretty sure I spelled. Did you capitalize the W in your name, Putty?
Yeah.
Alright,
So.
I typed your name wrong
I
then.
don't know.
Whoopsie daisy. Whoopsie
Maybe.
daisy. Shout
Nope,
out
I
name for the
did.
official Twitch command. Oh, slash shout out. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Exclamation mark if it's a bot or something.
Okay.
Oh, it's for auxiliary bot.
Right.
Actually, I have an auxiliary
That
bot,
makes
but
sense.
I also
Because
messed it
I
up.
use Mix It Up now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's all stuff. I'm glad other people are here that know what they're talking about. And welcome back with your food, Vapor. We need calories to fuel our brain. In fact, I was watching a thing. I don't remember what it was. It was like a YouTube short or whatever. I was going through, and people were talking about how like grandmaster chess players playing a game of chess burn an absurd amount of calories. They burn like a workout's worth of
Whoa.
calories playing a single game of chess. When you get to that high level, them thinking that hard and them like shaking a little bit they do, like shaking their leg and tapping their foot, burns in like a workout level of calories. So that's pretty crazy. I didn't believe it, but I guess it's true.
Yeah, the brain actually burns the most calories of any part of your body, which is why you should always make sure that you eat something sweet before you take a test, because then the sugar converts straight to glycogen, which is what your brain uses.
Oh, I'll definitely remember that when I start taking my exams.
Neuroscience.
That's why I don't mind kids having a sweet in my class. I don't
Alright.
know why you have to limit food to like an hour a day.
That's
Just have a
pretty cool
sweet if it
because
keeps you up.
like every teacher I've ever had in the US, you got like assassinated if you brought out like a stick of gum in class. They'd be like, "Well, you chewing gum in my class? Is
Yeah,
that what you do?"
exactly.
And they pull out the
I had
See,
one good teacher that was like this kid who was a stoner had like Ritz crackers and cheese whip in his backpack,
Mhm.
and he brought it out. Me and him were eating it in the middle of class, and the teacher was just like, "I just don't get crumbs on the floor, man. You're fine."
Yeah,
well,
you
that's the
know,
thing, because a lot of our schools are really badly maintained. So I've had like serious ant problems in classrooms
Oh
before.
yeah.
But at
oh
the
yeah.
same time, like, just let people eat, Like, don't be weird about it.
Yeah.
Just let people eat.
Yeah, especially in high school, like high school kids that just have weird times for stuff. I had people that I know like almost every day. They would wake up like 15 minutes before school started and they'd show up to 30 minutes late to class because they were up to like 5 a.m. that night or whatever. People had weird times. So, like, if that's what you're doing, bro, you got to eat breakfast at some point. Saying that, I don't eat breakfast ever. So, like, I mean, in class, I feel like it's not a terrible time because it's not like they were listening to begin with. That's just a personal point.
Mm.
But it's a decent time, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't mind as long as it's not flaky and it won't leave crumbs. Like a sweet's fine or gum's fine.
yeah.
But if you bring a croissant into that classroom, Lord help you.
Ooh.
All right.
Yes.
We should probably do game show.
Game.
That's probably a
Woo!
thing. We're having fun though. It's a good point. It's always great to have it this way. That being said, someone said poisson, so I felt like I needed to say that. So for 300 points, what is the capital of Egypt? I'm going with the most modern one at the very least. I don't know if there's been different ones. I'm not saying in Egyptian. I don't know if it changes in Egyptian. Um, but I'm going to go with how you say it in English if it doesn't change. The modern one. The one that showed up when I Googled it, at the very least. So someone said, lol, right, there was a game show here. Yeah, no, don't worry, it turns into a talk show at some points. That's the best part. Putty, for 300 points. What is the capital of Egypt?
The capital of Egypt is E.
That is the letter I've capitalized. Fair enough. um, Vapor, for 300 points. What is the capital of Egypt?
Cairo.
Cairo. You did not give it as a confident answer, but it is a pretty solid one. That's definitely at least in Egypt, if nothing else.
Okay.
For 300 points, Piper, what is the capital of Egypt?
Okay, well, a capital is where the government is, and there are a lot of famous people from the olden Egypty times buried in the pyramids. So I'm going to say that the pyramids. That's my answer.
I could definitely be mistaken for thinking that the pyramids of Giza are in fact the capital, considering they're in every picture I've ever seen of Egypt in existence. That being said, I haven't been to Egypt. My dad's been to Egypt, and he was really hyped about it, like when he came back. So I thought that was really cool, and just a little personal anecdote. And the only possible way I could relate to Egypt is that my dad's been, which is very sad, but true. Um, I'm gonna give Putty. You're definitely getting points because that is technically what I capitalized was the E. Vapor, you're absolutely getting points because Cairo is 100% the answer. Um,
Cool.
Piper, the pyramids are a solid answer. Very, very solid answer. So you are also going to get 300 points. I don't know why I dragged saying that out so much. I don't know. I'm weird sometimes. It
You can
happens.
not give me points. That's fine as well.
One of these days, I'll
okay.
not give people points. Don't worry. We're getting into the harder ones.
I didn't know Egypt was in Africa until I was like 17.
Also, yeah, I thought it wasn't. I said I thought like 3 times. When I was younger, I had no idea it was actually in Africa. I thought it was like in like the Middle East. I thought it was like in like what is it? The Arabian Peninsula is what that part is called.
Yeah.
I thought it was in
Yeah.
there. It turns out no,
I
it's in Egypt. Or in
I
yes,
thought
yes, Egypt is in Egypt myself. In Africa.
I thought San
Mm.
Diego and San Francisco were different states. So there you go. I mean, when I was like 5, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, yeah, it's like 5, but we're 5. Come on. Um
But I have a
uh
feeling that your
come on.
common knowledge is probably different from mine. Like I don't know any of the U.S. states and cities and things, so I'm
Neither
just
do I.
like,
It's
oh,
okay.
that's
Yeah, neither do most people in the
I'm
US,
like,
so don't worry about it.
We've
Yeah,
got some
it's
like, oh,
fine.
range.
Don't worry
that's in
about it.
the middle-ish, and that's on the West Coast-ish.
You got
That's
California on
alligator
the left.
country.
You got Florida and New York on the right, and you got Texas in the middle, but we don't talk about Texas.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I unless they're like a teacher of geography, I think if you gave most Americans a map of America with all the states, because just first off, there's 50 of them. I don't remember 50 of anything, let alone the country I live in. And
And one
you
of them's
said,
not like a few of them aren't even in that landmass.
yeah, a few of
right?
them aren't really attached.
A few of them
Yeah.
just like I forget even exist, like Delaware or
Also,
something. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think most people would get, almost everyone would get California, Texas, Florida. They'd probably get New York and Maine. I think most people would get Hawaii and Alaska. But beyond that, it is a jumble. You could get anything and everything wrong as long as it's not your state. It's like people joke like, oh, dumb Americans, but like there's so much I can't remember it all. There's
Yeah.
no way. Like even Canada, which is like just as large, if not slightly bigger, they've only got like what, six? I think six. What do you call it? I don't know. I'm not Canadian. Provinces. That's it.
Areas
Yeah.
and the
Provinces, yeah.
provinces.
Regions.
They don't even have that many.
Also,
It's crazy.
mm.
It's crazy how much we've divided America into different states. It's weird. I'm absolutely not remembering all of them. Once I'm done with my rant about weird America stuff, we're going to move to literature for 300. Alright. Also, when I was making these questions, I remembered Piper wasn't actually from the U.S., so I changed some questions out because they felt completely unfair because they were like very American things. So I changed a couple out so it was more universal. That being said, literature for 300 is: what novel series by Stein had a TV show and movie? That is R.L. Stein. I didn't have enough room on this text card to put his full name. I don't really have anything to feel about this that doesn't straight up give it away. Sorry, my cough. Should have muted. Slightly connected. Are You Afraid of the Dark is a TV show that I remember JonTron made like 2 episodes about. That's the only way I remember that movie exists. TV show exists.
I remember Joshua.
JonTron was great. He just
Me
took 9
too.
million years to upload.
Yeah.
All right. With that out of the way, I think that's giving everyone enough time. This I maybe shouldn't have been a 300 answer because I think everyone knows about this. I think this was a global thing. So to test that, we're going to start off with Piper for 300 points. What is the novel series by Stein that had a TV show and a movie?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the real answer for this because I like the series too much, and JonTron made some videos about this as well, and I love JonTron. It is Goosebumps. It's Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Very solid answer. The intro to it when I was younger scared me, but thinking back on it now, the theme song was way too killer for just anything. That was absolutely just a stunning intro. And now that I think about it, kind of sounds like the Gremlins theme song, right?
I hate the Gremlins so much.
You hate the Gremlins? I was weirdly as a kid, I wasn't scared of the Gremlins, but I was scared of like other stuff like it.
Scary, yeah.
I was scared of
Gizmo.
I was scared of the Xenomorphs when I was younger. Which the Xenomorphs are pretty scary, but I
yeah,
was really
yeah,
scared of them
yeah.
as a kid.
Yes.
All right, for 300, 300 points. Putty, what novel series by Stein, R.L. Stein that is, had a TV
Gotta go
show
with
and a
Goosebumps,
movie?
man.
Goosebumps?
I loved those books so much as a kid. Like I would just devour them in an hour because I just absolutely loved those books, and they were like perfect pocket size. Like yes.
Also, someone in the chat tried to guess that I was a 90s kid. I'm not going to answer, just because I think that keeps the mystery about it more. But maybe, maybe not. I definitely watched a lot of 90s kid stuff, though. I also said, I don't know, I watched more Goosebumps than Gremlins, and look, I can't even spell it. Which, true, Gremlins is hard to spell. Kind of. I don't know about that, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. And last but certainly not least, before I somehow forget that I didn't ask everyone because I got confused with chat, I'm very sorry. Vapor, for 300 points, what novel series by R.L. Stein had a TV show and a movie?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Points all around.
Woo.
That one may not have been a 300 level question. My apologies. I also definitely started reading chat and forgot I didn't talk to everyone yet. I am very sorry. Wait, these points aren't right. How does he have more points now? Wait, what did I do wrong?
But you haven't added ours yet. You started with him.
Well,
Yeah.
I know that, but was he? Well, we'll
I
figure it
got the
out.
Cairo question.
It's
works.
I got
it's
this
like what's it called? Whose line? The points don't matter.
It's not like there's a reward at the end of this, anyways. I'm relatively poor, so I don't have a
not.
prize prepared.
Right.
You can get my love and affection for the time until we do another episode of this.
All right, fair.
If that does it for you, then that's what y'all get as a reward.
I think
That
we all
being
need to be
said, we
skeletons
all need to be skeletons.
for all
Yes.
knowing the 300
More.
questions.
More.
We can move on to the next one, which I think this one may actually stump some people. I forgot Putty. I knew Putty was a teacher. I forgot that she was straight up a math teacher. So this category is absolutely her jam. I hope this may stump her, though. I doubt it will. But for 300 points, y equals mx plus, and you are filling in the space there. The question mark is for the space. Few different things it could be. These are all letters. So if a number is your answer, I would think you're correct because it is, math, but I've been proven wrong before and probably will again. I'm gonna give people a little extra time to think because this is our tougher questions. That being said, we've already been doing this for an hour and 11 minutes, and I told you this was only going to go for about 30 to 40. This turned into way more of a talk show than a game show than I thought it was going to be. But hopefully everyone's still at least having fun, so I'm happy with that, if nothing else.
The last
Yeah, definitely.
VTuber game show I was on, it was supposed to last an hour and 45 minutes, and it went for almost 4 hours. So
all right. Well, I'll try not to keep everyone here for 4 hours, but my
No,
apologies.
you're
My
fine.
apologies.
No, it's super fun.
But
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
force it.
This is good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm sorry. I super cut off the flow of that right there. I was coughing my lung out, and I had to mute really bad. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna let Putty go first. We're going to do Vapor. You seem terribly confident in math. Y equals mx plus what?
So y equals Mexico plus H.
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 Can I ask you, what does the H stand for?
H. Greg.
H. Greg.
Yeah.
Is that a person, or is that
makes
something you
sense.
just made off the top of your head?
That
It's
is
a store
that's a
for, like,
defunct
furniture?
store.
That's a store.
It is shut down in 2017.
I've never
and
heard
it's
of
now a
H.
meme,
Greg.
Yes.
Wow.
I just know it because
Wow.
every time I see it, I go Hugga Greg, like I'm
Hugga
throwing up
Greg.
real bad because that's what it looks like to me.
All right. Aegon is a very ardent defender of H. Greg, and someone said, Greg. So I'm apparently the one person that didn't know about this. I'm sorry.
It's a Midwest.
I
Midwest
didn't
thing.
know.
Best
Oh,
Buy,
Piper.
kinda.
Piper, stand in my corner. You're my defense on this one. That being said, I'm still not gonna let Putty go. Piper, y equals mx plus what for 300 points?
I'm still curious what Mexico plus Greg equals. What's the Y? Never mind. Okay.
It's your mom. It's your mom.
Okay, so I don't teach math, but I do help like in after school programs. So I kind of remember this. It's to do with gradients and graphs and things. I'm gonna say it's the letter C, so mx plus C.
A pretty solid answer. Why is my character? Oh, I clicked 9. That's why my character. No, he's angry now. There we go. He's back to being okay. A pretty solid answer. It definitely it's in that range. It's definitely a single letter answer. Which is what this is because there's a very small space, and math does this kind of thing. Putty, for 300 points, y equals mx plus what?
So it's B, which for some reason stands for the y-intercept.
Yeah.
And it is the equation of a line. So, guys, you asked if it's a slope thing. M is the slope.
Cool. Thank you for the literal answer to that, better than I had written down.
I have to be serious about
The space does actually stand for B. It's y equals mx plus b, and I can't forget that because the algebra teacher that I had was absolutely phenomenal, and she's made me remember like everything about algebra. I remember I
Oh
got a
no, dude, where I'm learning it, it's C,
it's
and
C.
I don't know why.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, so like you actually got the answer correct, but it's a regional thing. You know what? Since you mentioned it, and I trust you because you're a teacher, you are going to
The
get
original
points.
dialect.
I was gonna not give you
I think
points.
somebody said so in
Oh my
the
god, my cough.
chat. It's okay.
I was not going to give you points because you just said C, but since that is a regional thing to you is correct, and I trust you, I'm gonna still give you points in that one because I had
What
no
does the
idea it
B
was even a
stand
different
for?
thing.
I'm curious now.
It stands for the y-intercept, like Putty
Yeah,
said.
I don't know why it's a B.
Yeah, I don't know why it's B at all.
But yeah, it's the Y-intercept.
That's
Huh. Is there
very
anyone
strange. I
else
wasn't
in the
expecting that.
chat who uses C, or is it just my what? My worldview is
Shattered.
wrong. 404.
couldn't
Piper not
you-
mine.
Couldn't you use like
Oh,
any?
Aaron, her dad's
Erin,
from
Erin.
Wales.
Yeah, save me, Erin.
Well, your dad's a fish.
No, he's super cool.
All right.
Oh,
All right. Well, I think we all learned something new off of that.
phew.
That being said, learning about H. Gregg, definitely learning about stuff is definitely grounds for points. B is absolutely the correct answer as I knew it, and C is absolutely the correct answer as Piper knew it. So I think I'm going to give points around the board for that, which has happened more times than it hasn't. So, in fact, I think
And
it's
there's a
only
legit reason for this.
yeah, no, like
This is
absolutely, that's 100%
legit.
fair. If that's what you knew
Even
it
the
as.
H. Gregg one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Aaron's dad is a hobbit, in fact. He'd be a leprechaun if he was from Ireland, but he is actually a hobbit.
Actually, never mind. I was gonna say something, but that was actually like too close to real life, so I was gonna say nothing. It was too close to doxing myself, so I'm gonna say nothing instead. All right, so moving on for me accidentally almost doxing myself, we're gonna do science for 300 points, which if I can select it, there we go. What is the atomic number of oxygen? I took when I was taking physics, which I know I'm saying this about physics. I'm saying this for a very specific reason. We were doing physics. I could not care less about fluid dynamics, about thermodynamics. I didn't care about it. We moved into the hard stuff, and we moved in like nuclear stuff. We started working with flux. And it's like, man, this is cool. We went back 2 weeks, and we're like, huh, how does heat gradient change? I absolutely, I was actually, I'm gonna say failing the first part of the class because like the easy part, I didn't care. And then we moved into the hard stuff. I was like, wow, this is super interesting. So I actually started doing stuff. Quote unquote, I'm not a fantastic student. Is the quick way to say everything I just said. All right.
Nice.
Who hasn't gone first in a little bit? I don't think Vapor. I don't think we've had you go first in a little bit. Oh, there's a reason I say that. It's because we used particles and stuff like that in physics. There we go. I'm gonna explain my own reasons away. What was it? Vapor.
Oh, oxygen. Yeah.
For 300 points, what is the atomic number of oxygen?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Given its importance, I could definitely see it feeling like it would be that close up there. A solid answer, one I think it could be defended.
O2. That's why.
You know what? That's a pretty solid
Yeah.
defense.
And if that's
Ooh.
hydrogen,
Yeah.
if that's hydrogen, then I've just screwed myself.
A pretty fair reasoning for it. I do like it. Who has Piper? Piper for 300 points. What is the atomic number of oxygen?
I think O2 is because oxygen comes in pairs or something like that. But I'm gonna say oxygen starts with the letter O, which looks a lot like a 0, so I'm gonna go with 0.
All right, that's something I can see. I definitely always fat finger between my O and my 0 on my keyboard.
It's,
Putty.
you don't have to be nice. You can say, Piper, shut up. What are you talking about?
No, I could see where you were going. It's definitely worse on a phone keyboard. I've definitely clicked the wrong thing before. Also, I was trying to like not sneeze very loudly because my face has become a faucet in the last couple of days. So I was muted during a
Oh.
part of that. So I'm very sorry.
No, no.
Putty for 300 points. What is the atomic number of oxygen?
I believe it is 8, but I haven't looked at a periodic table in a couple of years, so.
That is a defensible point. That being said, I actually had to also Google it because I thought it was 8. No, sorry, I got it wrong. I thought it was 6. You are correct, Putty. It is 8. The O2 is actually because
Oh, good job.
oxygen very often comes in pairs where the two molecules are bonded together. That's where the 2 comes from, so no points for the 2. And I'm not going to give points for the O. It was decent, but moving into these harder ones, I want to see better jokes out of y'all. And hopefully I don't end up stealing them like the pie one again. Yeah, you have to try now. Don't worry, I get to make the bad jokes. Y'all get to make the good ones. This is a promotion for you.
Geist was half right. You're in your chat. Geist was half right. They said
8 is between 6 and 9. You know what? It's in that
Guys,
range.
So close to greatness through memes.
We fall down so we can get back up again. And people say that to make themselves feel better. The last time I fell down, I hurt my knee, and I did not feel better. So
Ouch.
I was trying to do something with that one. I don't think that one was as good as I thought in my head, so I'm going to be quiet and stop embarrassing myself.
You gotta do the voice. Why do we fall, Master Wayne?
So we can pick ourselves back up. He's got like the easy British voice to do. Michael Caine, that's his name, not just him.
Yeah, Michael Caine. He's
yeah.
in a Muppet
Treasure.
Christmas Carol. Woo!
I absolutely love the Muppet Christmas Carol, so I'm glad you brought it up because I was about to too. He said that was one of his favorite movies to work in was the Muppet Christmas Carol, and that absolutely warms my heart because I love that movie. I spent like literally 99% of my childhood watching the Muppets, as in my mom had a CD collection of all of the Muppet Show, and I watched it nonstop for like 5 straight years on end when I was a kid. So I have a huge amount of love for the Muppets.
I had Disney Plus for a little bit, and my one of my friends was like, "Dude, you need to watch, what was it, Moon Knight or whatever?
Moon Knight.
The
Oh yeah,
Marvel.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I love Marvel stuff, but I was like, when I was looking for Moon Knight, I found the Muppet Show, and I was like, yo, and I watched all the Muppets. I watched all of them. I watched like.
How did they get there?
Not all of it, but I watched like a ton of Muppets tonight until like my Disney Plus ran out, and then I was just like, I'm not gonna pay for that again. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love the Muppets. They're fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I also recently watched the Happy Time Murders, which is, in case you didn't know, that is the an adult version of a movie that owned by the people that did the Muppets, aka it's Jim Henson's son's second company, that did that. Oh my god, having watched that, I feel like I can't go back to watching a normal Muppets movie anymore. I started watching it sitting in the lobby of my college while I was waiting for class to start. I immediately had to turn my phone off because there was 100% no way I can watch that in public in good conscience. It is rough. It's like horror movie, you know, literally the movie horror movie. It's like that level of bad. I was real nervous when I started watching that one in public.
Wow. Just writing that down. Put that in the list.
All right, enough about me gushing over the Muppets. We're going to move on to history for 300 points, which is which French king was overthrown in the Revolution? I.e., the one the big one, the French Revolution. There's been a few, so I'll specify.
Frick.
There's been a lot of French kings, so I'm gonna give you all a little time to think on that one.
I don't think you gave me points.
Oh, did we not do points at all for this round?
Yeah.
Did we? I don't think I gave anyone points. Oh yeah, it was Putty. I gave Putty points for having the correct answer. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Putty.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Pud. Thanks for mentioning it. I 100% forgot. I shouldn't have. Yeah. There's words for there.
Yeah,
There's
same.
words that mix in with that. There was something that was supposed to come after that. All right. That being said, hopefully that was enough time, minus my hiccup of forgetting to give Putty the point she earned. We're going to start with her then, because she called me out and embarrassed me live on television. Putty, which French king was overthrown in the Revolution?
So I know it was a Louis.
There's a good bet with taking a Louis.
Well, there were a lot of Louis.
There were a lot of them.
I think it was the 16th, because I believe the 14th was the Sun King, who was actually decent, and then the 16th was the little, shithead.
So those are that's a pretty solid reason. There were at least 16 Louis. I don't know if there's more than that, but a very solid answer. Unfortunately, you did have a good answer in response to making fun of me, so I feel bad about it. So, we'll do Piper next. For 300 points, which French king was overthrown in the revolution?
Okay, well, we were just talking about the Muppets, and that reminded me of how the French have frog legs as a dish, and we've got a frog in the Muppets. So my answer is
the
gonna be
Froggy.
Kermit the Frog. Kermit the
Kermit the-
Frog.
Kermit the Frog here.
Oh, that's a lot better than I
That's
can do.
good. That's
I've
good.
like I said, I watched a lot of the Muppets when I was a kid.
Are you like me, where when you watch something a ton, you can eventually just like do the voice of something?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
very
Yes.
few I can do, and that's one that I absolutely I think I do a pretty decent job
That's
at it. So
fantastic.
I'm real big fan of him. Vapor for 300 points. Which French king was overthrown in the revolution?
I'm also gonna go with the King Louis.
The King Louis. All right,
Yeah.
there are a lot of them. So which Louis are you going to go with?
Uh,
I will also accept Lois as one of the Louis. That one's okay.
you go with King Louis. All right, I'll go with that.
All right.
Go with the funny answer.
Hey Lois, I'm being overthrown.
Holy crap, Lois! I'm being overthrown.
Peter, Peter, the peasants are hungry, Peter. That wasn't a very good
Peter,
Lois
let 'em
voice.
eat cake. Oh god, that sounded terrible.
Let 'em
I
eat
hate
cake,
it
Peter.
though.
That's a little. I'm gonna put a whoopsie daisy in my Lois Griffin voice. That being said, I'm gonna go points around. Kermit, because you lean into my love for the Muppets. It is absolutely King Louis the 16th. And Lois is a funny answer, so I'm gonna take that.
Nice.
All right, points all around. Now I get to do the fun part of unlocking
Yay.
my layers again.
Hey Lois, remember the time they sent us to the guillotines?
Hey Lois, remember that time we stormed the Bastille?
Trying to send us into a cutaway.
There was actually a thing I saw the other day. They're talking about the French were actually a huge part in the Americans gaining independence because they actually helped fight the British, and Marquis de Lafayette was like the main guy in convincing France, like, hey, this America thing, we should help them out a little bit, even if it was just to spite the English, which is a whole thing that's gone on for forever that I don't know enough about to talk about. But there was a thing I saw where apparently during World War One, when the U.S. was helping take back parts of France from Germany, a group of U.S. troops actually went to Marquis de Lafayette's tomb to thank him for helping the U.S. gain independence. And then the person that was talking about it said that England may have been America's father, but France was its daddy. And I just thought that was funny and worked really well in this context. So I liked talking about that because, in case you couldn't tell, I'm a giant
That's a
history
fun
nerd.
fact.
That is both really sweet and really funny.
Yeah.
But honestly, just because anytime anyone says daddy, it's funny.
We've ruined it.
if I have kids and they call me that, they're gonna have to figure something else to call me real quick.
No, oh, but it's all right. It's all these people turning into weird things.
All right. That being said, I did remember to hand out points this time. I did. I promise. So we're gonna move into the actual. This is the second half of the game. This is the you're gonna have to be pretty funny if you want to get some points in with me. So that being said, we're gonna move into geography for 400. I have no clue what this could be, but I have the answers open. So oh no, I wasn't supposed to grab that.
Oops.
There we go.
I know it, but let's go.
Wellington is the capital of which country? All right. For our U.S. friends, I literally Googled. I started Googling random stuff in the geography tab because I ran out of funny questions. I just came across a list of capitals. I picked a capital, and this is what I went with. So if you don't know what it is, that's good because I had no idea what it was either.
I think I know this one.
I would be surprised, kind of, but not surprised because it's you answering.
Is it cool if I go first?
Why not?
No.
Putty for 400 points. For 400 points, Wellington is the capital of which country?
I'm pretty sure it's beef.
Beef?
Beef Wellington.
Oh, it went over my head.
Oh.
No. Oh, it hurts me inside. I'm supposed to be like the pun person. It's supposed to be my thing. You absolutely stole it from me, and that's fantastic. All right, well, once after I've been shamed and disgraced, we'll go ahead and ask Vapor for 400 points. I have to sneeze so bad.
So is
Off it
this an
goes.
American capital or some shit? Right?
It's the capital of a country.
Oh, country. Oh my god, I can't read.
I'm so sorry. I absolutely just
No,
destroyed
you're
my
fine.
throat sneezing. I'll actually ask you the question. For 400 points, was Wellington is the capital of which country?
Sweden. I don't know why, but
You know
they
what?
just seem like they
I
named
don't
something
blame you.
Wellington.
I had no idea what my answer would be. Oh my god, my voice sounds so much worse now. I'm so sorry. I coughed so loud. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm super sorry. It is a realistic answer. There's a ton of European countries. I'm sure actually Sweden is Scandinavian, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
It's all the same.
that's egg on my face. Whoopsie daisy. Forget I said that. A lot of countries I've never heard about. So, you know what? If that's an answer that makes sense to you, it's definitely an answer that would probably make sense to me because I had no idea. Piper, for 400 points, Wellington is the capital of which country?
Okay, I'm very excited because I know this one.
Really? All right.
Because I've got friends living, like, streamer friends
Oh,
living in this country. The country is New Zealand.
that is correct. Wellington is the capital of New Zealand. I had no idea. That's one I just never heard of. Um, so yeah, the fact that you actually knew which one it was is definitely surprising to me. I was expecting no one to get
This
this.
kind of feels this feels like in oh, what's that show? Slumdog Millionaire? How that guy, he just happens to get questions that he knows because of his life experiences. Oh my god, I'm the Slumdog.
Very good, very good, very good. I appreciate it. Beef Wellington gets points because it went over my head. The correct answer of New Zealand definitely gets points, and I'm sorry, Vapor, we've left you behind. My apologies.
Rest in pizza pocket.
Don't worry. We'll
While you
I
type
think it'll
those
be
in.
I think it'll definitely get much closer to. It'll be more down to the wire as we get into these harder questions because I think people are almost certainly going to have a lot harder time figuring these out.
It's one of those where, like, the largest city in the country is not the capital, kind of like Australia. Like it's one of the smaller cities in the country. Yeah.
See, I was thinking it might be in the UK because I was like, isn't there a Duke of Wellington? And then I was like, I don't know. There's a Duke of everywhere.
All right. Well, those are all pretty solid answers. I'm pretty sure if I was taking this exam, I would have gotten that wrong. I'm gonna be fairly confident. That being said, we'll move into our next category, which is still going to be harder, but maybe is more relative to people's experience because literature I've chosen stuff I hope is at least universal. That being said, R.L. Stein and Goosebumps I thought was a pretty solid U.S. thing, but I was trying to get one that I thought more people would know about. I don't know how far Goosebumps went, but Piper, I know you don't live in the U.S., so if you saw it, I did succeed there at least a little bit.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Right, so trying to not ramble on, literature for 400 points. What book series by Martin, that's George R. R. Martin in this case because I didn't have room to fit his name, hasn't gotten a new book yet? This one was another joke question because this is absolutely not worth 400 points. I don't know why this is so far down there. I don't know. I don't know where this one went. Whoopsie daisy. That's actually relatively high up. I feel like Goosebumps was harder than this. Whoops. Or maybe I'm just doing that because I know the question. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that could play into this. My voice has been destroyed by me sneezing, so if my voice sounds scratchy, I am very sorry. I sounded like this all earlier this week. I just got better, and then I got into stream just to start sounding worse again, which is definitely there's a word for it. I forgot what word. I give up.
To this, I'm gonna email you some soup.
Send me some
It's
soup in an
soup month.
email. That being said, Piper, for 400 points, which book series by George R. R. Martin hasn't gotten a new book yet?
I'm gonna say, and I think The answer came up in a previous question. Somebody said it, but it was the wrong answer. I think it's the right answer for this one. I'm going to go with 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay. All right. I can see you trying to connect it. Right. Vapor for 400 points. What book series by George R. R. Martin hasn't gotten a new book yet?
Bootleg Lord of the Rings, aka Game of Thrones.
That's a very fair answer. And I can see where your connection is, and that is absolutely because George R. R. Martin. Never mind. I'm speaking too much. I'm going to say that for afterwards. Buddy, for 400 points, which book series by George R. R. Martin hasn't gotten a new book yet?
So the series is actually called A Song of Ice and Fire, which I know because I'm a nerd.
Thank you for correcting us,
See
Miss
the
Nerd.
paying off.
That being said, points around the table. Actually, sorry, no. Piper. No points on those one. It was not 50 Shades of Grey. I will take bootleg.
I know it's gonna come up.
I will absolutely take bootleg Lord of the Rings because that's funny, and I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I have a painting literally sitting over my computer screen right now that I'm looking at that my mom painted for me. It is Smaug, and he's looking at me constantly. So that's how big of a nerd I am.
I have a painting of Garfield being thrown out a window.
You know, everyone has their thing. Everyone has their thing. That being said, the correct answer is technically any book series by him. I would have accepted anything you would have said that would have said one of his book series because he hasn't written anything in like 6 years. So, that being said,
I think Piper deserves funny praise because picturing George R. R. Martin as I know he looks, writing 50 Shades of Grey just kills me.
Have you ever seen the? I think it's at Comic-Con or something like Comic-Con 2017 or 18. Where it's a panel with George R. R. Martin and Stephen King, and he's like, "How do you write so much, Stephen? I can't get anything done." And he's like, "I don't know. You just write a page a day, man. I don't know.
You gotta know. I just write a book every once in a while.
Right, dude. I don't know.
Think of something, make it come to life. There you go. That's a book.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you know what, Piper, you drive a hard bargain. I will give Piper 220 points for the mental image of George R. R. Martin doing you know the
fan fiction.
Thank you. I can't hydrate now.
I just need like a quote and someone to do like an older man voice reading it out loud. Like, let me see if I can find a 50.
I watched the video Vapor Skull was talking about. He sounds like the typical old man. It is insane. He sounds like the old guy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Someone in my chat said 50 Shades of George.
Well, I'll tell you what. George was curious.
Find a good one. No, I'm not.
I
I think I would like explode blushing if I even said some of these things. Never mind.
Don't worry about it.
I've heard some of the lines, so I'm glad you didn't read that on stream because that would have been clipped very quickly. That being said, I coughed a storm so much I got hot and I had to take off my jacket. So I'm now down to my shirt and pants. Sorry, I'm wearing pants too.
Strip.
If it gets any hotter in my room, there's a good
Don't wear
chance.
pants. Come on.
VTubers don't wear pants. We don't have to. That being said, weird thing. What I was gonna say. George R. R. Martin absolutely 100% is a huge fan of George R. R. Tolkien. That's the thing I was gonna say. J.R.R. Tolkien.
It's
sorry.
Tolkien.
The fact that you could say that so well both impresses and disappoints me. The thing I was gonna say. Oh, dang it! What was I gonna say? I forgot it. It was about pants. I took a picture of myself on Christmas Eve because I had these really funny Cheeto pants. I actually posted a picture of like my torso and my pants, and someone commented, "Is this a dick pic?" And I got really nervous and self-conscious that people thought that's what it was, so I took the picture down, and I'm really like embarrassed to put it back up. So that happened. I just wanted to mention that is a thing that happened, just because I thought it was a little funny.
In the UK, pants is slang for like underpants. So I was like, why are you telling me what you were?
No.
No, you meant trousers. Yeah.
Yes, trousers.
The trousers.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I forgot who I'm with. Yes. Carry on.
Fun fact: I haven't experienced that the other way around. The American thing of forgetting other people have different culture. I haven't experienced that yet. All right, that being said, no longer embarrassing myself or trying to make fun of Piper. We're going to move on to math for 400 points. We're getting to the hard stuff here. Or I didn't know we had a literal math professor here with us. So math for 400. What is the formula to find the volume of a cube? A lot of different stuff. I'm not going to make a joke because I thought of one I think would be funny, and I think other people could get it. So I'm not going to say it because I don't want to ruin the joke again. A whole new language. Oh yeah. Aaron Rose said pants lemonade.
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 Yeah.
Lemonade and crisps. A whole new language.
It's a
That's
dialect.
there's the clip.
Even though it came from England, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen the clips of I've seen it before. I'm not the first person to talk about this, but the cartoon where they're talking about over in France they call a Big Mac a Royale or a quarter pound a Royale with cheese.
That's from
Yep.
that's from what's it called?
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
Pulp Fiction. Yeah, and he goes, man, it's like they're speaking another language. And I still find that one funny. It's like the right kind of dumb for it.
I used to have a friend that was northern Britain, I guess, and so when he would talk, it would start British and then and then like turn Scottish for a second and then turn back to British.
He'd ask you if you had a chance to change your fate, would you?
No.
I've seen people.
You gotta make it real thick. If you had a chance to
change your fate,
would you?
Donkey. Would you change your fate?
Nah, Donkey would absolutely bang that dragon again. There's no way he's changing that fate.
True.
It's such a weird movie, dog. Why? Why is it like that? Ugh. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop before I go on a tangent about it. I'm not gonna let Putty go first because I know she's probably gonna have the right answer. We're gonna do Piper for 400 points. What is the volume? Or sorry, the formula to find the volume of a cube?
Okay, well, this is a trick question because cubes don't make noise. So that's my answer.
The volume of a cube. A pretty solid. Or that's a double entente. I think is what that would be because you used volume.
Technically not wrong.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But a very solid answer, and I do like it. It's definitely wordplay, which definitely gets points with me because that's my favorite kind. Vapor Skull, because I'm gonna make Putty go last. For 400 points, what is the formula to find the volume of a cube?
Minecraft.
That was the joke I was gonna make, and I absolutely accept it.
Stolen.
Stolen valor.
We skeletons share one communal brain cell.
One. We stick together. All right, Putty. Since I'm pretty sure you know the answer, and I'm gonna let you get it out. 400 points. What is the formula to find the volume of a cube?
So for a rectangular prism, you would do length times width times height. But because in a cube all the sides are the same, you can literally do side times side times side, or side cubed.
That is absolutely correct. Points all around for Minecraft, for cubes don't make noise, and of course for the correct answer.
Yay!
How am I doing? There we go. Man, I thought these were supposed to be hard. Next,
We're just so smart.
For the next game.
But in a way, it's good. Then we can like.
Then everyone gets to have fun. All right. Man, I'm gonna tell chat when they were messaging.
You don't create unnecessary VTuber drama with somebody on Twitter being like, "They didn't give me any points.
They didn't give me any points.
They didn't like my pun."
No, I'm gonna tell chat. The other day, I think it was Piper. No, I think it was Vapor. Asked we had a Discord chat going. Asked, "Oh, how long do you think it's gonna be?" I was like, it's only gonna be 30 to 40 minutes. Cause like, man, I've only got so many questions up on the board. They're gonna go through this so quickly. I was like, yeah, it's just gonna be 30 to 40 minutes. We are now at an hour and 43 minutes. Sorry, hour and 47.
I still have 2 streams going on today.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well, all right, we'll try and...
One is my stream, which I can tell everybody, don't worry, it'll be late. They're used to it. And the other one won't start until like 1 a.m. my time.
So. Okay, so we're hoping that we don't go at least that long.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
All right, that being said, moving into the next category. Kind of without time for sillies. Yeah, I wasn't expecting. Fun fact, I changed the rules of this game yesterday. Because I realized I was sitting down, I was like, this doesn't sound fun, so I changed it up. So I'm glad people are enjoying it.
You're blushing and crying.
Yeah, my chat's enjoying it as well.
I'm blushing and crying. Whoopsie daisy. So many buttons. So many buttons. I need to remap those. Or sorry, there's not a keyboard. This is not fake. Science for 400 points. What does the term heliocentric refer to? A lot of things that could go around this. I'm not going to say anything specific because I think it'll give it away. I remember weirdly we learned about this in a history class before I learned about it in a science class, which is very strange to me. I also didn't take our astronomy class that they actually offered at our school, which I thought was super cool. The reason I didn't take it is because it wasn't an AP class, and I was a weird nerd kid, so I took every AP class I could get my muggy little
Oh, the-
hands on.
The
Aw,
try-hard
same.
classes.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I used to
people
call
the
them.
people that were in the like actual like literal top 10 spots in our my year that I graduated, they were insane. My salutatorian, who I was actually friends with, dude went to Rice, which was I thought was relatively impressive. I was like, man, you had to flex on the rest of us, but no, I'm pretty proud of him. He's done great. I'm
I
gonna
might need
stop.
some context. I don't know what rice is. I only
Rice
know
is
the
one
food.
of the Rice is one of the biggest Ivy League universities here in the U.S. So that's like top dog. It's like
Oh.
Harvard, Yale, and I think
Oh,
I'd consider like
okay.
Rice is maybe like the slightest step down from them, if it is. But it's
Like a
it's
dark
pretty
Mm.
impressive.
type deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna stop bragging about him, but I'm very impressed by what he's done. Um,
He's not on a game show.
he
though.
is in fact not on a game show, so he can't be that
Well,
good.
there you go.
All right, we'll start with Vapor Skull for 400 points. What does the term heliocentric refer to?
I almost want to say it has something to do with blood, but I don't know what. Just say blood science.
Blood science. Okay, all right. I can see that. With the what's the prefixes and suffixes and stuff like that. I can see where you're coming from. We'll do Putty because I made you go last time. For 400 points, what does the term heliocentric refer to?
It's when the sun is in the middle. So like our current model of the universe shows that the sun is in the center of our I don't know, galaxy, whatever the deal is. So that would be heliocentric.
All right, that's a
Solar
pretty.
system, that's the one.
That is a
I was like,
very
galaxy something.
that is a very
Yeah.
scientific and pretty well structured response. Um, Piper for 400 points. What does the term heliocentric refer to?
I was also going to guess something to do with the sun because helio has to do with like the suffix isn't that kind of thing that you were talking about. But Putty's already said sun, so I'm going to go for Helioptile the Pokemon.
I do not know enough about Pokemon, but I'm going to consider that there is one, and that is a very
Golden-
close name.
Like
All right.
golden lizard that lived in the desert.
Yeah, no,
I
like
think.
when you're reading
Yeah.
into Helioptile. That's legit.
Okay. Pooty, you gave the literal direct answer of the sun is in the center is pretty much what that means exactly. Vapor Skull, very close with it though. I see where you're coming from with the blood stuff because I think the suffix for blood is homeo or sorry, it's hemio. So I absolutely see where you're coming from.
Hemo and
Oh.
hemio, yeah.
Shit. All right.
Close.
That was actually insanely
Better
close.
That's a
So
good reasoning.
Oh yeah.
Pud absolutely points for getting the question correct. I like the Pokemon one. Don't know him, but I'm giving you points because I have my favorite Pokemon, Garchomp. I have a plushie of him sitting over there on my bed. He's sitting in the
Oh.
corner staring at me. So you get points for feeding into my childhood, even though technically Garchomp wasn't out when I was playing Pokemon.
I have 4 Pokemon on my desk actually.
Oh, what four you got?
I got
Ooh.
Poliwhirl, Politoed, Krabby, and Dugong.
Ooh, very solid, very
I'm
solid.
really tempted to get. So Build-A-Bear just came out with a I don't remember her name, but she's the evolution for fairy type. And I love her
Sylveon.
because she just is so trans rights, like because she's all pink and white and blue, and it's the cutest thing. And I don't really like playing Pokemon, but I want that plushie.
Oh, sorry, I was muted that whole time because I was coughing. I unmuted to say something and then immediately coughed. I'm falling to pieces. All right. That being said, I thought those were all
Sylveon,
really good
that's the one.
responses. Yeah. We'll move into the next one. Just to speed this up just a tiny bit before we start gushing about Pokemon for too long. So history for 400 points is going to be who sacked Rome. Up to your interpretation. This one's more of a joke one. If you're going for the specific one, a potentially hard answer or a potentially easy answer. I'm glad that we don't have a history major here. Unless, Piper, are you a history major?
But I'm no, but I'm not American.
Ah, okay, perfect. So I don't have anyone to argue with here. So I don't, in case I get anything slightly wrong, I don't have to
Who
defend
killed
myself.
Hannibal?
Oh God, he was the dude that used the car. He was the dude. I forget his name. No. All right, I've lost. Do you know who it is, Vapor Skull?
I was making an Eric Andre reference.
Oh,
Now is this the entire is this the empire or the country?
oh no, I was just going for
Rome
the
is not a country.
city.
Wait,
I wasn't asking you the question
city.
yet,
Yeah.
but if you do want to go first, I will let you. I was saying that because the Carthaginians were led by Hannibal as a general, and there was and I literally learned about this just recently. There was a Roman king that beat him, so I thought you were literally asking me. I thought you knew about history. You were asking me, and you were trying to get me with it. I
Oh,
didn't know you were going
no,
for Eric
I was.
Andre.
Yeah, I was quoting the who killed Hannibal after he obviously shoots Hannibal in the chest.
I thought you were about to flex on me. I was very worried for a
No.
second.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. He sacked almost everyone. So you know what? That's a realistic answer. We'll go Piper for 400 points. Who sacked Rome?
Okay, so sacked is another word for fired, and we were talking about the fall of Alexandria earlier, so I'm gonna say God.
You know, sometimes it feels like in their history. Sometimes it feels like it. Uh, Putty for 400 points. Who sacked Rome?
Well, first off, who didn't sack Rome? Am I right? But no, it was. I don't remember anybody's actual name, but it was the German barbarians. I think the Goths, because I don't think they split into Ostrogoths and Visigoths until after the fall of Rome. But I'm not really sure. My dad's a real nerd about the fall of Rome. So.
All right, Pud, thank you for
Ooh.
giving me the nerd answer to lead me into everything. As in, my literal first
Woo!
response that I have on my answer sheet is, who didn't? My second one was, quote unquote, Romans, and then the Goths. So, yeah, you got it.
Nice.
You definitely got it. We're gonna give points all around there. I thought it was funny. I liked the Mongolians because I watched what is it? The dude Hank Green's history stuff. It was his history series on YouTube. I keep forgetting it. No, I don't know. But his thing is always he would mention he's like except for the Mongols, and he would play a little thing. I like the Mongols. So hearing you say Mongols, that was not what I expected. But Genghis Khan is a very good answer, and I do like it. Putty, you had the textbook definition and the funny answer that even I gave in my joke response. So thank you, Putty.
Oh, I just got raided. Hold on.
Oh yeah, take the time you need to thank them. Don't forget, you also absolutely did get points. I'm gonna really quickly change that over. Yeah, who didn't sack Rome?
I'm a really big Genghis Khan nerd because, well, okay. So as the folks from my chat know, I briefly considered if I had a child naming it Temujin after Genghis Khan's real first name, and they have roasted me appropriately for this. Yeah, I was thinking we could call him Timmy.
Call him Timmy. What have I done? What have I made here? I made something in. No,
I don't know.
I made
It's like
it.
a little plus sign. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
There we go. I put it on the wrong layer. Whoopsie daisy. I don't know what that was.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right, points all around. I was actually pretty impressed by that round too. All right, so we're moving into our highest tier of what I consider reasonable questions. That being said, these are not anything I would consider reasonable. So geography for 500 points. Oh. What country is Machu Picchu in? Machu Picchu. Actually, I'm a big fan of it. I saw a lot of stuff recently. I'm a huge fan of Native American history, as in North America and South America, because it's something I never learned a ton about, even though I'm literally here. That being said, there's obviously some stuff I know about. I like hearing more about like the Iroquois Confederacy. I think it was Iroquois Confederacy.
Iroquois.
Iroquois. Yeah, they're super interesting. I just absolutely fascinated by them. So Machu Picchu is one thing that I absolutely think is fantastic. I want to go one day. But that requires having money. So that's a big big mark up there.
Mm.
So hopefully I give you all time enough time to ruminate, maybe get a feel of it, season out your answer, maybe let it marinate. So we're gonna start with we did Vapor Skull first last time, so we'll do Pud. You haven't gone first in a little minute, I think. So for 500 points, Pud, what country is Machu Picchu in?
So Machu Picchu was built by the Inca, so it is in Peru.
Pretty solid answer. You knew the people that made it, so that's a very good start to potentially having a correct answer. Piper for 500 points. What country is Machu Picchu in?
I was also gonna say Peru, but I suppose you all wouldn't know that if Buddy went first. So I'm gonna go with Machu Pikachu.
Back to the Pokemon. Back to Pokemon. Finest.
Mm.
You did also say Peru, and given that I've very kind of poorly formatted this in that sake, yes, Putty did give an answer first. I should maybe make her go last from now on. But even if you were going to give Peru, I trust you enough to have not cheated. So, Vapor Skull for 500 points. What country is Machu Picchu in?
Brazil.
Brazil.
I know it's not a country, but for meme's sake, Brazil.
Brazil is a country.
Brazil's
Oh, it
definitely
is.
a country, bro.
Brazil's the biggest South American
Yeah,
country.
I knew that. I was just memeing. more.
Whoopsie daisy.
Uh-huh.
It's okay,
I mean,
close
that being
enough.
said, if Microsoft doesn't consider it a country, as in it's a giant hole in the ground, I can see where you came from. You know, you don't want to fight the man on that one, so I'll give you some leeway with that. We're gonna give points both to Putty and Piper for the sake of Peru. Brazil was wrong, but the resulting being funny of
Different ways.
of it is also funny. So you know what? I'm going to accept Brazil. Just 'cause I like having fun with it. It's fun. Don't worry, we'll probably get
Yay.
more serious in the second game when I actually hammer out making you give me a response in Discord. That being said, we're going to give you 500 points, which puts you at 4,100. Whoa, nope, too many zeros, too many zeros.
41 million.
Too funny.
He's one. Oh, there we go.
Nope, 53.
No,
Oh wait,
Oh.
it's 500. Okay,
yeah,
never
we
mind.
moved up to 500.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention.
Ha, I beat the math teacher. Only time I can claim that.
Yeah.
Ratioed.
Yeah. All right. That being said, literature for 500 points. Quick. There we go. It's going to be who wrote Paradise Lost, which I've read very briefly. I actually own the Divine Comedy, which I know they're not the same thing, but it relates to it because that dude really liked the Divine Comedy. I've read the Divine Comedy. Well, I haven't. I've read the first 20 pages of it. Oh my god, that's so hard to read. That the comprehension on it is very rough. It is written very formally. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to read through. I couldn't sit and read that. I was stuck in a hospital, and that's the only reason I did. And I saw something pop up, and I can't see it. Oh, I was-
Scrappleberry has joined the flock.
hey,
I
someone
gave you a
joined.
shout out. I'm gonna get
Oh,
you to affiliate.
yeah.
Bheith.
Thank you.
let's do
Thank you.
it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That actually scared me for a second. I forgot that those exist. I also people that are new to the chat or people who've maybe been here for a little while and have seen that happen before. I changed my picture for that. It's now my banner that I used for everything because I only have one piece of art that I've actually done. So it's that now instead of the dinosaur. I finally changed it. It's only been 5 months, but you get the point. So thank you, absolutely thank you for joining. That makes me feel fantastic. What was I? Well, we're running a game show here. Paradise Lost. I was stuck in a hospital. That's the only reason I read the Divine Comedy, and I did not make it that far, and it was rough. So, we're gonna start Piper for 500 points. Who wrote Paradise Lost?
Okay. It sounds a bit familiar. I'm not familiar with it.
Oh,
I'm gonna say. I mean, I know it. I've never read it though. I'm gonna say, J.K. Rowling. Harry
know
Potter
what?
and the Paradise Lost.
Harry Potter and the Paradise Lost. I can get with it. She's written a lot of stuff. Let's go.
One of the spin-offs.
One of the spin-offs.
Yeah, with the cursed child.
What is it?
Cursed Child and Paradise Lost, and yeah.
Paradise Lost and Where to Find It. That's less
Yes.
joking and more literal, but I can get that. I can get behind that. Vapor for 500 points. Who wrote Paradise Lost?
I've heard of this, but I don't know what year it is, so I'm gonna do a shot in the dark and say Orson Welles.
You know what? For not knowing what time period it is,
Ooh.
Orson Welles is a pretty strong answer. He's written a lot of stuff, and it would not surprise me for Orson Welles to have written Paradise Lost, given who he is. If you said Ray Bradbury, I probably would have cried.
I don't know who that is.
He's Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, I read that in college. The book was okay.
I actually read it. I read it before school made me read it. That's the only reason I still love it. And Putty, because you're a giant nerd, and I'm scared you might know this. For 500 points, who wrote Paradise Lost?
So for a sec, I thought I knew it. But then I realized I was actually thinking of the guy who wrote Utopia. So I'm gonna guess Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. I've heard his name, but I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. So we're gonna go
I
around
might
points.
be getting that name wrong too, but I don't remember.
I feel like I've heard of him. I absolutely do not know who Roger Moore is, if Roger Moore is a person. That being said, I find J.K. Rowling a very funny answer. I definitely made it funny to myself by saying Paradise Lost and Where to Find It. I like Orson Welles as an answer, but the correct answer, and I don't blame anyone for not knowing this, I did know it, but that's only because I literally watched something about it 20 minutes before I made these questions. The answer is John Milton. He's actually an English poet, so
Yeah, I knew he was English.
yeah. Also, that's like the first. That's like one of the first depictions of Satan as a sexy bad boy. So
Yeah.
gets
Oh,
around.
one to read
Other
then.
than those statues, am I right?
Oh boy, got to talk about the statues. All right. That being said, I'm going to give points to Piper for I thought J.K. Rowling was funny, and I'm going to give points to Orson Welles because, ironically, I think he would have if someone else hadn't already. Putty, no points this time, but Roger Moore may be a very good answer. I just don't know who he is.
I
Thank
think he
you.
wrote Utopia, but I might be wrong about
Here's the
that
thing.
too.
Here's the thing about it, Pud. I don't know what Utopia is. I'm not that big on literature.
Well, I went okay. I went through a
Who
classics
wrote
phase
Zootopia?
Okay.
from like 10 to 19 or so, and I read a lot of stuff.
Read a lot of stuff. Oh God, I have to get a bookshelf. I have too many books. First off, some of them are D&D and Pathfinder books, so that's not technically fair. But I have a lot of books. I also have sitting behind me, and I'm actually really happy about this. I have a huge collection of actually D&D novels. So I have every novel that Dris Do'Urden is like the main character for. I have his entire series. And then I have two different versions of all of the Lord of the Rings. I have a accompanying. I'm a giant nerd. I'm going to talk about this because you can't stop me. I have an accompanying collection of books that are not like the Silmarillion and other stuff like that, but relate to Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth and all the Tolkien stuff. And then I also just have a ton of other nerd stuff. So like, I'm a big fan of the show Overlord, so I started reading all of the light novels. So I've got all of those chilling over there too. And I have like two that I haven't finished yet because I was reading them while I was in high school, and I haven't caught up yet. So need to read those sometime. And I'm gonna stop being a giant. Oh my god, my cough.
Off he
All right.
goes.
I've survived. Oh, my stomach hurts doing that. I like cramp my stomach. Ugh. All right, I'm gonna stop being a baby. We're gonna move on to math for 500. I'm gonna make Putty go last.
Yep.
All right. What is y equals a and then an apostrophes x minus h squared the equation for? I know that sounds very weird. And Piper, if you use different letters for this, let me know when you give the answer because I don't know. I'm gonna have to trust you on this one.
I don't know what this is.
Don't know what this one is? Whew. All right, so we avoid a little of that. I'm gonna call it the time zone issue if you don't exist in the same place as me.
Skill issue.
Skill issue. Yeah, I think that's more of a me problem on that one, to be honest. That being said, I assume Putty potentially knows. I don't know why my voice dropped like that. I'm very sorry. I'm gonna assume Putty potentially knows. I'm gonna hope the two of you had a chance to probably make up a funny answer because I didn't know about this one. I had to Google this as well. So we're going to make. We made. Oh my god, cough. Who am I go first last time? To make Vapor or Piper go first for Paradise Lost? I made Piper go first.
Yeah.
Oh, me, yeah.
Right. So Vapor for 500 points. What is? I'm not going to say that all over again. I'm sure you can read the equation for.
I feel like I used to know this. It is uh fucking square root of something.
Square root of something.
Yeah, I don't
There
know
is not
what
a square root symbol there, but oh my god, my coughs.
is it.
I'm gonna be stuck with it.
Is
But
it or not? It's like to the second power right there.
yeah, that's squared, not square root. Square root's the
Oh,
opposite.
fucking I don't know.
Don't worry about it. I didn't know this one either, so don't
Heck,
feel
math.
bad. I was not a big fan of math either. They started putting letters in the numbers, and now I got alphabet soup. Except it's not alphabet soup. It's alphanumerical soup. God, that's such a nerd joke. Oh, I'm sad now. Piper for 500 points, so I can stop being embarrassed. What is that the equation for?
Um. Okay. Well, it kind of looks like the equation for the gradient that we had earlier.
It is relatively similar.
So, like, maybe yeah. So maybe like a parabolic equation, and just in case it just in case it's contextual, or it depends where you are, I'm gonna say it's the equation for the golden arches, the McDonald's golden
A little bit
arches.
of Macca's. Which, who says Macca's? It's Macca's and Mackey's.
No,
Macca's, I think,
that's
is
I think
Australian,
Macca's
right?
Australians. Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
who does Mackey's.
I'm gonna say
Yankees.
the golden arches for Mickey D's.
Mickey D's. That's actually that's what people here in Texas call it. That's the Texas version. Is Mickey D's. All right, a fantastic answer. I will accept both golden arches and parabolic equation because that's a very math sounding term. So I'm a big fan of it. Pud, for 500 points, what's the answer?
So I'm not 100% on this because I believe it should also have a plus K at the end.
Probably, but I didn't know enough about math.
So that's an equation for a parabola where A refers to like the dilation or like how stretched it is or shrunk. So like how wide the parabola goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then H helps control where the center is, whether it's
The
to
dot
the
at
right or
the
to the left. And then the plus K would control where the height is as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a parabola.
So
That's probably way too much info.
Thank you for the lesson. I do appreciate it. I'm absolutely going to give points to you for that because it is a parabolic equation. Points for Piper for saying parabolic equation, and of course golden arches was quite funny. Vapor, unfortunately, no points on this one, but
That's fine.
you did get a very solid answer for something you didn't know. So
Nice.
all right, I can unlock this again. We can move into. If anyone, I'm going to be entirely honest. If anyone gets the last stage of questions, the 800 points, I'm going to be incredibly shocked because those are ones that like. Some of them I did know. Some of them, who knows? You know, who knows?
Geography's gonna be
Oh.
like straight from the Hobbit. Like, what's in my pocket?
What's in my pocket? No, they're not trick questions. Maybe I forgot what some of them are. So you're gonna have to have a little faith in me on those ones.
We'd better be super funny.
You better start thinking of funny jokes now. All right, science for 500. What is the difference between fission and fusion? Weirdly back to talking about physics again. Well, not weirdly back to it. Back to talking about physics again. Which I could ramble on about physics for days, man. I'm a pretty big fan of physics. I ain't gonna lie on that
I
one.
mean, yeah, I'm very bad at doing the physics, like walking and avoiding gravity, but like, you know, the math bit, love it.
Alright. So I think we can just get into the. I'll give you all a little more time. You know, it's a 500 question. I don't want to rush you. I want to give you time to marinate on that thought juice for a little bit. I should absolutely get water. I should have done that before we get this. I didn't know it was going to be much of a talk show. But next time, I'll know for next time. That being said, next time I probably shouldn't bring coughing. You know, that'll help me a little bit.
Go for it.
Yeah, Geist
Definitely
said hydration break.
Hydration break?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take a little break real quick. I absolutely need to run and get some water, though. So,
Guys, you know I don't drink water.
yeah, entertain my chat for me. Do the thing I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no, totally.
Okay.
I didn't chat.
Hey, chat, what's up?
Okay, go.
What's up, chat?
Hi.
When Bay comes back, pretend that we've been talking about him and we shared like a very juicy secret.
Yeah.
Be like, oh my
So,
god, no, Bheith, you didn't. I
Like
can't
now
believe
you
you.
actually know what his feet look like.
Gaslight him.
Spoiler, they're roommates.
Ah.
We
I
got some
like the dancing
spouts.
birds quite a bit.
We got some spouts
Yeah.
in
Oh,
chat.
ooh.
We got a ton of spouts in chat. Shout out to Spout. Bird VTuber friend.
I'm glad we have some time to think about this one.
Top tier emote. You know what else is a top tier emote? I was gonna spam my own, but that's cringe. Can't do that.
Well, I am, because one of mine is just poo.
What is this new emote? Hold on. What is this new emote? Cream think? What? Cream doesn't think. Taking notes. What else do I have? I have literally 1984 spicy spin. I love that.
No, I made 2 emotes to help people pronounce my name because it's Pooty.
Mm-hmm.
And so I specifically made one poo just so I can spam it all the time.
Nice. So we have
Yep.
piss and poo in chat. Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Piss Gang's now my rival.
I should spam some things too.
What else do I have here? I don't even watch that guy.
Ooh, embarrassing. I'm not following him. Better follow. Oops,
Mm.
before he comes back.
My favorite.
Don't
Twitch
be
emo-
awful.
My
His rule
favorite.
was don't be awful.
My favorite emote on Twitch.
Oh, that
Pooty's
water
back.
saved my life. Oh, my door.
Let me show off mine.
Oh,
Okay.
I know Bashcap had emotes. This is a new
oh
emote.
emotes. Yeah, Bashcap.
Yeah.
Bashcap was very lovely when I met him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a good noodle star.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Good
angry. Whoops.
noodle.
Patrick, you should care about dumb stars, considering you are one.
I'll deal with you after class. It is after class.
No, the
Fine.
scene. Oh, what is it? The scene where they're fighting over the chocolate bar,
Oh yeah.
and he's like, "You would really let me sit here and starve." They pan out. And he's like, he's all like super
Now I'm
fine
gonna
detail.
starve.
Yeah. 85% of the dialogue in my stream are SpongeBob references. So.
What a great show. Absolutely not that great for kids. Like, I feel like it definitely burnt my brain a little bit. But what a great show. What a great show.
Oh yeah.
I gotta call out my husband right now because he is arguing with me over whether that was the quadratic equation or a parabolic equation.
Bro, I don't
And
know.
he is
Ooh.
wrong.
If Dr. Science won't fight me on this, Google said it was the parabolic equation. That being said,
I will
I've
fight him.
also apparently missed the plus K. So you know what? I don't feel like I can really defend it all that much. So Dr. Science, considering you are a scientist,
The quadratic equation allows for 2 separate factors. This only allows for 1. Don't even talk to me right now.
Oh, Meadowhawk, you've unleashed the beast.
Whoopsie daisy. No, we released the beast yesterday. I was watching Pud for a little bit before I had a stream yesterday. I was watching her play Dead Space. That was some rage.
I died 56 times in 2 hours and like 15 minutes.
What the hell was that laugh? What was that laugh? What was the most gremlin laugh I think I've ever done? I hated that. We're gonna move on so I can stop embarrassing myself. So, Pud for no, you probably know the answer.
You know the answer.
Vapor for 500 points. What is the difference between fission and fusion?
Fusion is when shit goes together, and fission is when it doesn't.
You know what? A pretty good reason. Everything either is or is not a potato. AKA, there's either the 2 books, everything they teach you at Harvard Business School and everything they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. Contains all human knowledge. So, goes in with it. Piper for 500 points. What is the difference between fission and fusion?
Yeah, I think that Vapor already said what I wanted to say. So I'm going to say the spelling because it's not wrong.
No, you're not
The
wrong.
difference is the
You're not
spelling.
wrong.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. You know what? I set that up. I set myself up to fail on that one. Pud, for 500 points, what is the difference between fission and fusion?
So when you fuse two things together, you combine them. When you do fission, you break them apart. Now, specifically, we use this talking about nuclear power with like molecular or atomic fission and fusion. So you can get a lot of power if you break them apart. You get a little bit of power if you fuse them, something like that.
Very good, very good. Points all around. Absolutely. The two of you, both Putty and Vapor, were correct. And Piper, you're technically not wrong, so I'll accept it this time. Points to you. Points to everybody. Everybody takes some points.
Yay! If I'm not
Yeah.
wrong, I think there's one of them that you can't do. Like when you talk about nuclear power, you can do one of them. The other one you can't do because I think like the world gets destroyed or something. They haven't figured out a safe way to
Yep,
do
that's
it.
fission.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yes?
I thought it was
Yes.
fusion. I thought fusion we couldn't do. I thought
No,
fission we could
fusion
do.
is fine because when you think about it, like atoms do their shit all the time, right? Like they form molecules and
True.
stuff. But
Mm.
fission, that's how you make a bomb.
A bomb.
Ah,
I am
Hadron
become death.
Collider. No,
Destroy
I am
for
become
us.
death.
And there's that dude that just.
They made a
So there was a whole thing. There's a actually really interesting video on YouTube about it. It was a Russian physicist. They had a whatever kind of collider, and there was an issue in it, and there was like the most perfect series of issues went wrong that he walked into the uh uh whatever collider at the when it was active.
Hydrogen collider.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. And that was just the whole thing I've seen before, and I thought that was crazy. But yeah, no, I mean that's horrifying to
Mm.
think about. All right, well, I mean, we already gave points all around, right? I was about to give everyone double points on accident, so we're gonna keep me from not doing that on purpose. So we're gonna move on to history for 500. If I can select, there we go. Who was the first emperor of Persia? I've recently become very fascinated by Persia. I, in fact, have 2 books about it that I've not read. Don't look at me. So you know, this is one that's a bit out there, but I do actually know it. I promise I do. So I mean, this is me filling the space because I've run out of things to talk about. Apparently, Persia. I've watched the 300 movies, and I'm not a big fan of them actually. Fun fact: Henry Cavill is in. I think it's the first 300 movie. He's one of the Spartans, so he was like Spartan size, and then he needed to get bigger, and he became Superman. And then on the topic of The Witcher, which he recently left, I remember the thing I'd heard about. I don't know if this part exactly is true, but one of the reasons he left is because he had to be dehydrated to get that kind of muscle definition, which is the whole thing. But the fact is that someone, I don't know who, looked at Henry Cavill, Superman, the Man of Steel, and said he wasn't big enough to be Geralt of Rivia. Are you serious? That dude's like 3 of me. He's not big enough? Of all the things they could say, that's the one I didn't want to hear.
And that's the thing, like I don't picture Geralt, like in the game at least, as a really bulky guy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I
was just the whole
like
thing.
Henry Cavill as
I
The
like
Witcher. He's
ranting about that.
fine.
Alright, so I'm going to take a sip of water and I'm going to make you all answer a very strange question. So, Piper, who was the first emperor of Persia for 500 points?
I am going to guess because we were talking about 300. I think Leonidas is a name that I've heard. So I'm going to say Leonidas.
Okay, alright.
Yes.
Definitely in the context of it. We're going to go Vapor for 500 points. Who was the first emperor of Persia?
Shoot. I don't know. I honestly have no clue. I got like no funny answer. I got no real answer.
Ooh, stumped you.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I
I'm
definitely would have
I'm
had a few of those
stumped.
by this point.
I think I'm just stumped.
Shh, don't be.
I bet Puddy knows.
I think she might, and
Probably not.
that's upsetting me the most. My 500 tears questions have not stopped her yet. Actually, no, John Milton stopped her.
Yeah,
She
no,
also
John Milton's
she
fine.
did, however, also give a confident answer of a real author who could have been it. So that's maybe not. Didn't stump her that much.
Mm.
All right.
Oh.
So Pud, for 500 points, who was the first emperor of Persia?
I know literally 2 emperors of Persia, and I don't think it's either one, but I'm gonna go with Alexander the Great. Because
Alexander.
at least he was Persian.
He was. He also
Mm.
liked being Persian. It was a whole thing.
Yep.
That being said, the correct answer was Cyrus. So Leonidas is actually the
Oh,
king of Sparta.
frick.
Cyrus was the first person. He
Oh,
was prince. He was
Alex.
Miley Cyrus.
as funny as this
I
may
feel
sound.
so
He was
stupid. I played
prince
him
of
in
Persia.
Civ.
Yeah. He was. I think he started as like
Aw.
prince of Persia, overtook his dad, said "huh," and then grew Persia a lot more. So it's actually
Oh, like
Cyrus.
that game.
Yeah, Prince of Persia.
Cyrus.
He did not
Oh.
have sand time daggers, so unfortunately we lose on that. So no one gets points this turn.
Mm.
That's our
Rip.
first stumpy. All right.
Damn.
I really
Yeah.
should have known that because I have played Cyrus the Great in Civilization 6.
Which that epithet sucks. Really, just the great of all the stuff like even Alexander the Great has done. That's the only thing they can give him is
Right?
the great.
No.
The great, yeah. Not the greatest.
The prequel?
Alexander the named one city after his horse.
Alexander the Decent.
Alexander he could have done better.
Yeah.
Somebody in my chat, if you're a Pokemon person, somebody in my chat said the Team Galactic boss. But I haven't played that one, so I'm just gonna.
remember
I don't know.
that.
Oh, isn't there a
seeing her.
Pokemon named Persian?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one
Oh,
of the
yeah.
cats.
Team
It's the purple one?
Galactic Boss. Was that Diamond and Pearl?
Yeah, Team
Cyrus?
Galactic is Diamond Pearl. It's
Oh,
Giovanni.
Yeah.
It's Giovanni.
Giovanni's the whole.
That's Team Rocket.
Oh, that's Team
yeah,
Rocket.
He's the boss of Team
yeah.
Rocket. Yeah.
And who's Team Galaxy? I don't remember.
Team Galactic is
Cyrus,
Team
Diamond and Pearl.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing. I think that's
his
what.
name's Cyrus.
Oh, his name is also Cyrus. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Goes
I haven't
around,
played
comes
Diamond
around.
and Pearl since it came out. So
It's-
We're back to
Yeah.
Pokemon. All right, we'll move on to this is our hardest tier of question. These are actually literally quite. I've named this category
Aw.
Bheith's Brain Busters. After the game, these are my hard ones. These are my brain busters. So hopefully you have to actually think on these. If Pud gets the math one right, I've failed. But she's also a teacher, so I'm gonna give myself a little bit of grace. So for 800 points in our geography category, our last of our geography. So once you pass this, Pud, you don't have to deal with it anymore. For 800. Who was the first president of Texas? Which I know isn't geography, but I'm putting it there anyways. I'm going to give you a little bit of time, because I know this one goes a little far back. Even some Texas people don't know this. But I'm going to put on the Southern accent for you a little bit. Is my phone dying? No, my phone's good.
wouldn't this be governor, not president?
Texas was its
No.
own country for a little
Oh.
bit. It was the Republic.
That's right.
It was the
Easy
Republic of
stuff.
Texas.
I forget.
Of course,
it's
it
the,
was
like,
its own country for a little bit.
It's the only state that when anything is a slight inconvenience, they're like seceding. We're done.
Seceding.
I've had it.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, in Florida, we had the Conch Nation.
The
Or, sorry,
Conch
the Conch
Nation.
Republic,
The
which
Conch
was when the
Nation?
Keys seceded from the U.S. for a couple weeks. It was great. Beautiful.
Oh,
They
okay.
still have flags down there. It was great.
Pretty crazy. Also, I'll be fair. Oh my god! If you come to Texas and you talk and you say you're not from Texas, I put on an accent for that. I'm sorry. If you come to Texas and you say you're not from Texas, there's a good chance before you leave that you hear, "Oh, did you know Texas used to be its own country? That's why we have 2 flags." But every state has its own flag. Like other people don't have that.
If I relatively drive my car into your state, I will get killed instantly because of the state that I'm from. So
Are you from Oklahoma?
no, California.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll do it.
yeah. No, those two
Yeah.
ain't happy with each other. I'm keeping on the Texas accent for a little bit. So,
I'm taking notes.
I hope everyone's had a bit of a chance. So I'm gonna start with. I think Pud may know it. She was very confident in talking about it.
Nope.
All right, Pud.
Yay! She doesn't know.
Pud for 800 points. Who was the first president of Texas?
Wait, is that me?
Yes.
Shit. I'm really feeling George for this one.
George, as in
I don't know the rest of his name, but George is probably in it, right?
George.
Stanza.
That's
I'm
it's
sorry,
a good
I'm
answer.
on
There's quite a
first
few
name
Georges.
basis with the president of Texas, so
All right, George of the jungle. Fun fact: we don't have
No
jungles here, so
trivia?
not close enough. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll go Piper for 800 points. Who was the first president of Texas?
Ooh, if all right. Well, if Paddy's guessing a general name, then I'm gonna go with John. Some
Jordan.
kind of a John. John.
Oh, sorry,
Some
John.
kind.
You know
Some
what?
kind of a John.
Weirdly enough, you are strikingly close with just saying
Oh.
John.
All right, let's go.
All right. Vapor for 800 points. Do you know who was the first president of Texas?
I'm gonna go with the meme answer in chat and go for Hank Hill and his
Hank
propane
Hill.
accessories.
I read that, and I didn't want to say because I didn't want someone to say because it's really funny. So yes, I will accept Hank Hill. The correct answer, for anyone who was curious, is Sam Houston. And Piper, the reason I tell you you're very close with John, when I googled to make sure, one of the answers, the dude's first name was John. I forgot what his last name was, but it was like Sam Houston, Sam Austin, John something. So that's why I said that. So it's
Oh,
shockingly close for someone who
John
doesn't know.
Dallas.
Maybe,
wow.
but
John,
yes,
Texas.
but yeah, no. That's very close. That's very. It could be like John Worth. I
Named
mean,
after
Fort Worth
him.
is another big one.
True.
I mean, we got Austin and Houston, so we might as well keep going down the line. Um, we have Jacksonville, which I think is for Andrew Jackson, but I'm not certain. Don't quote me on that.
Hey, Florida's got one
Ooh.
too, and it's also for
Yeah, John,
our
Texas.
shittiest president, Andrew Jackson.
All right. That being said, no points that turn. Or no, sorry, I'll give points for Hank Hill. I liked Hank Hill. I'm sorry. I'm gonna step back. We're gonna give 800 points for Hank Hill. I did think that was quite funny. Oh,
Too many Jacksons.
all right. That being said, we're gonna move into too many Jacksonvilles. There are a lot. There's one in Tennessee. I don't know. I also said that in a weird Southern cry, so
Tennessee.
I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead.
I have weird Southern in my blood only because my grandma was from like the Midwest. So
Well, you have Southern in your blood because your grandma's from the Midwest.
yeah,
Did
well,
she
it's
serve iced tea?
it's the I don't know what's that one state called Missouri.
Missouri.
Oh, Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I get
definitely
you.
misery. So, as
Yeah,
in
good enough.
literal as
Oh.
it's misery to be there. It's the Midwest.
Right.
So joking around, we're gonna say literature for 800. What are the stories that are not canon to the Bible? And this is the Catholic version. So
Oh,
there's
shit.
some spicy stuff in some of these. Um, I actually have one of the books. I have it sitting over there. I need to read it one of these days, but I'm probably not gonna get around to it very soon.
I do know this one.
Ooh, very spicy, bud. Very
I used
spicy.
to be Catholic.
Oh,
Briefly.
very spicy. Very.
Which
All
one
right.
has Thanos in it?
All of them should, if we're being entirely honest. Was the Revelations is the one that has the rapture in it or talks about
Yeah,
it?
that's Revelations.
Yeah. So Revelations
That's
should
tough.
have Thanos.
Is that the one where Jesus shoots swords out of his mouth?
Dude,
Hmm.
I
honestly,
don't
whoever
know.
wrote like Revelations was probably on something
Oh yeah,
because it
makes
is just
sense.
wild.
Yeah, they before they figured out what genes were, and you go, oh yeah, everyone came from just two people. Yep, definitely how genes don't get messed up.
Mm.
Yep,
Yep.
that's how it goes.
But without going on, I'm gonna make Pud wait because I think she may know it. We'll do uh Vapor for 800 points. What are the stories not canon to the Bible? And that's not, you don't have to name each one. There's a term that refers to them.
I could go with the meme answer and say Thanos again, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna actually go for the serious answer because I think my grandma, when I was little, told me because she was Catholic. I think one of them might be the Jonah and the whale isn't canon.
I don't know if that's true. I
I
don't
don't
know. I
either.
don't know.
I'm
I don't know
just
enough about Catholic lore, so.
neither do I. They tried to teach me. I was like, I just did. I did not care.
They're like, Jonah and the whale wasn't in the Bible. You're like, huh? Who's Jonah?
Santa Claus is real, Grandma.
All right, Piper, we're gonna go 800. Sorry, for 800 points. What are the stories not canon to the Bible?
Ooh, okay. I'm really not familiar, but I'm gonna guess uh oh. I'm trying to think of a funny one. I'm trying to think of a funny one. Or maybe I'll just guess. I'm gonna guess. Okay, I'm gonna guess. Samson and Delilah. I don't know.
Samson and Delilah. All right. But that could not very well be canon. I actually don't know.
Ooh. You're
Um,
gonna have to look that up.
I
Are
will.
you?
I'll look it up. I'll look
I'm
it up for the
sorry.
sake of everyone. That's right, because there was a specific answer I was going for, but the way I worded it was very poor. So if those are correct answers to that question, I will still accept them.
Mm.
Pud, what are the stories not canon to the Bible? And I should have said, what is the word that refers to stories not canon to the Bible? Is what I should have said, but if you have
Ah.
stories that aren't canon to the Bible, absolutely go for it, Pud.
It's called the Apocrypha,
That is
which is where
absolutely
we
correct.
get the word apocryphal from.
Ooh.
And it includes stuff like, I think the Book of Enoch is something that got
The Book
taken
of
out.
Enoch.
There's whole books that
Holy
were
shit.
taken out at the Council of Nicaea,
Yes.
as we should all know, obviously.
I
Take some notes.
do strangely know about the Council of Nicaea. That being said, you're absolutely correct. That is the answer I was looking for in this case, Pud. It's
Ah.
apocryphal books. They're apocryphal. I actually have apocrypha sitting over there because I thought it was interesting because apparently Jesus kills a dude in one of them or something like that. I don't know, so I need to
Well,
read it.
that's
Yeah,
not
that'll
good.
happen.
Yeah,
I
Oh, you gotta
oh,
take that out.
yeah. There's a reason
Oops.
why I see why that would not be in there, but I've heard about it and I was going to read it, so I need to get back to that. But that being said, I'm going to really quickly Google some stuff to make sure I'm not cheating y'all out of points.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry if anyone in the chat is Catholic, and that sounds bad to say. I'm very sorry if that this is upsetting. It was not. It was
we're
not
all
my
sorry
goal.
for it too.
I'm sorry
Oh.
for Catholicism.
That's part of what comes with being Catholic, the guilt. But no, God, I was gonna say something like some of this stuff is in like the Dead Sea Scrolls, but no, okay, it was when you said Jesus killed a guy. So there is actually a story where he did break a guy's legs.
Oh.
Ouch.
Oh.
Because basically back in the day there were a lot of like magicians and stuff, and one of them was like hovering, right? And he's floating in the air, and so Jesus is like, pushes him over, and the guy breaks his legs. Also, there's the time he cured someone's blindness by spitting in their eye and rubbing dirt in it.
And whatever works.
I would imagine that would have the opposite effect.
Yeah, no, Jesus was kind of a dick. Like, genuinely,
Well, you
he
gotta
did
take
some
that out.
very rude things.
Well, you gotta take that out of the Bible.
All right. Well,
I-
that all being considered, oh whoop, I have my angry face on. Whoopsie daisy. That all being said, I'm gonna have to give points all around because I found conflicting answers for Samson and Delilah, and with Jonah, I found the response that just flat out said no. So I'm gonna give points all around for my poor choice of wording in the question, and y'all actually gave real answers that work for that. So points all around.
Yay!
My dad was banned from Catholic school as a kid.
Huh.
Wow. How'd that happen?
He was too much of a troublemaker.
Nice.
Fair
And
enough.
beating him with rulers did nothing but make more trouble.
No,
So they
really?
so they had
That's
to like
great.
they brought my grandma and grandpa in and had them sign a paper that said
Oh.
I will never bring my child to this school ever again or something like that.
All right.
That kind of thing never works. I don't know why some schools still do it.
Yeah.
All right. Talking about your dad getting beaten with rules reminded me I was going to make a joke like that earlier, and I didn't. I chose not to. Mainly because I think I chose another joke over it. That being said, we're going to move into math for 800, which hopefully stumps Pud. Either way, she's still going last. All right. I squared equals what?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
And weirdly enough, there's a lot less answers to these kinds of questions than you think. That is not actually a letter there. That is a number, in fact. So yeah. If that helps you come to a conclusion, that is a number answer. That's our first number question to a math question in 4 questions. So, you know.
Yeah, since the beginning.
All right.
Oh, and the pie. Anyway.
You know, I don't know how much time to give y'all on this one. They are our hardest questions. I'll give y'all a little bit longer. As I try and think of stuff. I think I was winning. I like talking about this because I think it's cool. I was watching. It was a Vsauce video, and he talks about how there's different kinds of infinity, there's countable infinity and uncountable infinity, which sounds really dumb until you think about it. Where there's like obviously the
Yeah.
normal infinity of negative infinity to positive infinity, everything on like the number line. There's that infinity, and there's what I think is technically uncountable infinity is all the numbers between like 1 and 2. So there's like
Yep.
1.11111, 1.11122, 1.11133, and stuff like that. So that's like also infinite because it can keep going on because you can always get another decimal point afterwards. So I don't know. I just thought that was weird and strange to talk about, and I like talking about it.
Yeah, I ingested some substances one time, and for like, I don't know how long. For me, it felt like forever. I kept going on and on about how every finite space is actually an infinite space because of the number of numbers between two numbers.
Mm.
My head.
Yeah, it was such a good time, and
Yeah,
now
my
I
head,
understand
man.
math in a whole new way.
Pud, did you just tell us you had the nerdiest trip ever? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Based.
Don't worry, Pud. That's why we love you.
And Meadowhawk was just like, okay, honey. Yep, that makes sense.
Yep. Don't worry. It's why we love you. All right. That being said, I'm gonna make her go last because I think she may know the answer to this.
I do.
There you go.
All right, Piper, for 800 points. I squared equals what?
I don't know if I stands for infinity or like an imaginary number, but I'm gonna guess 0.
0?
It's probably safe, yeah.
You know what? It's actually, I'm pretty sure it is in the range of things that I can do. I think it
Okay.
might be. Vapor, for 800 points. I squared equals what?
2.
2. I think it. I think 2 is in the range. So you're definitely. I was hoping people didn't do like 9 or 10 because that's not in the range, but I think that's in the range. Pud is probably about to tell me whether or not I'm wrong. Pud, for 800 points. I squared equals what?
So, to be clear, I is the imaginary number, and
Yeah, I
it
knew it.
stands for the square root of -1 because you cannot take the square root of a negative. However, there are complex numbers where you do use I and add it to other things. We just can't graph them on a coordinate plane because they're not real numbers. So if you square the square root of -1, you get 1. Or, sorry, -1.
She is correct. The answer is -1. I'm
I
gonna
think
give
I zoned out halfway through, but that sounded really good.
Piper.
It's something I think we teach it in algebra 2.
Yes, that's. I actually sorry. I learned it in pre-cal. My bad. I was about to say we learned it in algebra 2, but I learned it in pre-cal. Piper, I will still give you half points for saying it's an imaginary number, because I wouldn't have known. In fact, actually, if I guessed
thank
that, so
you.
I will still give you half points for that. I'm gonna
Yay.
give Vapor points for getting in the range of stuff I'm pretty sure it can actually be. Of course, Pud's getting full points for having a lecture ready on it. I want to give half points on that because she's straight up a math teacher.
Math questions.
I should have listened more, but I'm giving more spare room on this because Pud is a literal math teacher, so I wanna not leave everyone in the dust here.
He's one of those kids who completes the test in a quarter of the time and just sits there and takes a nap before the test is over.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about.
When I took AP Calculus, they used to call me a robot because I'd finish the test in half an hour and then just like walk out because our teacher let us do that, and they'd still be sitting there working on the test for another half hour.
Oh.
So,
And you got them right.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said I'm learning something, but I don't know what yet. What yet? Fair enough. Neither do I. I have no idea. I spent an entire semester learning the coordinate circle, and I don't remember any of that, other than it's a thing.
Coordinate circle's fun.
Yeah, my teacher liked to flex.
Polar notation.
Yeah, my teacher liked to flex by just filling it out as quickly as she could every time she quizzed us on it.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I'm glad I don't have to take calculus for college. I lucked out with that. Sounds fake, but okay, fair enough. You know what? It sounds fake. It does sound fake.
It should be.
We're gonna get close to wrapping this up. We're gonna do science for 800, and that is going to be what is the Kármán line? I think that's how you're supposed to say that. For any of you who think that's a made up thing, technically all things are made up, but that is a real thing. This was also one that I just randomly Googled weird science quote or weird science question, and I ended up getting that. So that ended up up
Ooh.
there. So, I don't know what I feel the space here. Carmen San Diego. I remember watching that as a kid. You remember watching Carmen San Diego?
Nah.
Where in the world
is Carmen San Diego?
You did that way better than I could have ever dreamed.
Like the video games, they had like a Where in Time as Carmen San Diego, and I used
They
to
had
play
video
that a
Oh
games?
lot.
yes.
I didn't know
Dude,
they
the
had video
video games
There's
were
games.
so good.
There's a quiz
Oh.
show.
Oh, man. I guess I just lost my rights to being host. I didn't know there were games. Alright, well, hopefully I'll have long enough thinking about Carmen San Diego. So, Pud, what is the Carmen line? Wait,
Those
Pud,
actually,
Pud, do you know the answer?
no.
Alright,
So
Pud,
it's
what is the
actually the
Carmen line?
Cartman line
Oh,
from South Park. And it's
okay.
that specific thing he says where God, what is it? I do it, I want. That's the Cartman line.
I don't know. I feel like if we
Matt.
made it, I feel if we made a joke like a actual South Park joke, the Cartman line is just how fat he is. I don't know. That's a South Park tier joke, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
All right, Piper for 800 points. What is the Carmon line?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I was also thinking of Cartman from
You're also
South
thinking of Cartman
Park,
from
so I'm
South
going to think of a different joke.
If you can do a
I was
different
gonna say,
Cartman
like,
joke,
You have to do a different line.
Oh,
If we
yeah,
all
I was gonna
agree that
say,
it's the
like-
Cartman line.
I was going to say, like, maybe the circumference of his tummy, but
actually, you know what? Since I made that joke, I will accept it. I will accept it because I stepped on your toes on that one. So sorry.
no, it's okay. There's no way that you would have been able to verify it anyway.
True.
But yeah, what is the thing that he always says? I know he's like,
Respect my
"Man,
authority.
they're doing oh, respect my authority."
Yeah.
Fair enough. All fair enough. All right. So that leaves us with Vapor Skull. What is the Carmon line?
I didn't think of anything South Park related. I thought of like, isn't that thing that people like go in a line to music to?
The Carmon line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the conga.
Conga.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
what you're going.
yeah, the
Okay.
Cartman
Okay.
line. Yeah, that's legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no
Yeah.
one did a serious answer, so I'm happy with that. I didn't think anyone would get this. I do like your funny answer. Before we dole out points, I'll let you know the Carmon line is the imaginary, and that's why I said it is technically real. Is the imaginary line that is the lowest point in space. If someone here fights me on that, I have no ground to stand on. I googled it. I do
Ooh.
not know. So what I believe the Carmon line is, it's the lowest point that is considered space within the atmosphere. That's the Carmon line. That being said,
That's neat.
everyone gets points for
Yeah.
jokes I liked.
Yay!
Yeah.
Someone in the chat said, because I think they played the original Carmen San Diego games. They said the original games were much better than the remakes done in line with the TV show. You had to do actual research in an encyclopedia they included with the game in order to win. Because they
Wow.
didn't have internet back then, right?
Yeah,
For
alright.
the remake, all you did was answer multiple choice questions and couldn't lose because it would just tell you why your choice was incorrect if it was,
Oh.
and let you choose again. But then you already knew what it was. You didn't have to go and work for it. All these. No wonder all my kids are so lazy and expect things to be spoon fed to them.
On a serious note,
Boomer
for
mode.
my for my
Shush, maybe
for
I should
my
be the skeleton.
for my art history class, our we had an online quiz stuff that we had to do. We had to take these quizzes all the time for our history class. You could go into a quiz and you could never if you got less than 100, it's because you gave up. And you had an infinite number of tries on it. In every question, you had an infinite number of answers. I once got a question wrong 5 times in a row because I accidentally clicked the same answer twice. There was no, and I still got a 100 on all of it because there was no, they wouldn't stop you. They didn't keep track of it. So I'd walk into class and I'd be like, "Yeah, I got a 100 on it." Although I tried 4 times on each question. It was weird. I also just liked that class. I will admit, art history was fun. When I said I hated art history at the start, I was wrong. I spoke too quickly. Art history was actually a little fun.
Nice.
Alright, so me being less of a nerd, we have our last question for the day. I'll finally let you leave in peace. History for 800 points. Our last brain buster of the day. What boundary is between Britannia and Caledonia? These are big boy history questions, so Hopefully no one knows this, otherwise I'm gonna feel bad.
Ooh.
That being said, the answer to this question relates to another question we've already had today. I'm not going to tell you which one or what category. I will explain it afterwards because I feel like I might give too much away. For anyone that actually knows real life spots, like actual, that kind of makes this a geography question. But I'm not gonna. I should have switched. I should have switched this in the Texas one. Now that I'm thinking about it, this should have been more geography, and Texas should have been more history. Huh. Weird how that happens. That being said, I'm gonna look at people's answers. So we had Conga Lib, Aaron said, and then corrected to Conga Line, which made me chuckle. Someone said no ground to stand on at the lowest point. Fair enough, actually, yeah, lowest point of space. I don't have any ground to stand on. So thank you for calling that out. You made me feel a little smarter.
You don't have a leg to sit on.
Oh, that video with the dude, he's like, you sit down on that chair and you stand up. I like that video.
I'm thinking of the episode of SpongeBob where Squidward's in like the neighborhood of other Squidwards, and then he sucks like the croquet mallet out from beneath the guy, and the guy falls. And he's like, "When it comes to having fun, you don't have a leg to stand on." And then,
I remember that one. That was weird. They lived like in a cult, like a cult of squids. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Wasn't it just like a gated complex?
Pretty much. I think that's what it was supposed to be.
Everyone was the same.
Yeah.
Subdivision.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, hopefully I've had long enough. We're going to go in our order that we started in. So Piper, for 800 points, what boundary is between Britannia and Caledonia?
Okay. Well, I think you kind of shot yourself in the foot when you said it related to another question that we already covered. So I'm gonna say that the answer is your mama. Again.
Man, that's not where I thought you had it. I thought I left a bright trail. I was really worried.
I led you on. Yay! I did it.
One of these days I'll be smart enough. But a fair answer is a fair answer. So Pud, for 800 points, what boundaries between Britannia and Caledonia?
Okay, so you said it relates to a previous question, so I'm going with the prime meridian.
The prime meridian. I mean, to be honest, I feel like Britannia and Caledonia is also made up, so I feel the prime meridian can work, but I'm not going to go there because I think that joke's a little spicy. But a fair answer. So Paper Skull, 800 points. What boundaries between Britannia and Caledonia?
Texas.
You know what? I can see us fitting in there.
It's a place.
It's a person, place, or thing. Get nouned on. I realize I just did the arm thing, and I don't have arm tracking, so it's just a little depressing. That being said, our correct answer is Hadrian's Wall. That is the boundary of Britannia as the Romans ruled it in Caledonia, which was just on the other side. Fun fact, the Romans gave up because the Scottish were too crazy for them. And they also didn't invade Ireland because they said Ireland wasn't worth it.
Oh yeah, that's yep.
Wasn't worth the fight they were gonna get.
Yeah. That being said, we're gonna dole out some points. Absolutely points saying Yo Mama. I'll give points to the prime rating because it's funny, and I'll give points for Texas because you're my Southern pride. So points all around. I did like that. No one said Hadrian's Wall. So I'm glad that I did manage to stump y'all on that. But points going around, that puts us at. Am I dumb? No, I'm not. 3,700. And then you get 800, so that puts you at 9,300. And then you, 800, which puts you at 96. So, Pud, you are our winner for today. So you have my love and admiration until we do this game again. If y'all ever want to show up for other episodes, absolutely let me know. I'll put you on the roster. You may not show up on the exact next one, so I probably won't be in episode 2. I have some other people who wanted to join in, so hopefully I'll be able to get doing that maybe next week. But if you want to come back, absolutely do. It was a blast having you here. How'd you feel about it? What anything you felt needed changes?
It was great.
I feel like there's probably a better way to like call in answers so we all don't hear each other's answers.
Yeah.
True. I was worried about that.
All at once.
It's like how I think the appropriate thing to do would be Um, like maybe make a small server and then like 3 separate voice channels, and then somehow have a hotkey to where you can bounce between all 3 super quick.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know if that would actually work that way.
I was
Or like a
thinking
way we
about,
could draw our right or answer
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
thinking like a
and
Jeopardy
show it
thing,
at
like
the
how they
same
have that,
time.
but I don't know how I would do that. I don't know how I would be able to get that
I,
on my
mm,
stuff, but I don't know.
And personally, I don't know how I'd ever be able to stop just drawing dicks for every answer. So
True.
What is the Carmen line? It's just a big old schlong.
and then I'd point to like part of the penis and just be like, that's it right there, buddy.
Who
The
sacked
one.
Rome, and then you just draw a big nutsack. All right. Well, I'm glad everyone absolutely had fun. I hope chat enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and close down. We're gonna save this real quick because I don't want to have to remake this later. We're gonna save this real quick. Save real quick.
okay, can I maybe I'll end my stream.
Oh yeah, if you want to end your stream, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going
Okay.
to I'm gonna say goodbye to y'all, and then I'm gonna say goodbye to the rest of the chat. It was absolutely fantastic having y'all here. Oh, I should move to a different screen. In screen. It was absolutely fantastic having y'all on today. We had a huge turn up for stream. Actually, I think this is the biggest stream I've ever had. So I was pretty happy with the turnout. I'm glad everyone watching enjoyed. I'm glad y'all enjoyed playing. This is absolutely fantastic. It goes to show that this game show can actually work. So I'm really pleased with that. All right. Well, definitely let me know. I mean, definitely message me. Y'all absolutely have me on Discord. So let me know when you feel up to playing again, and I can definitely get you in some sort of waiting list that I definitely don't have down anywhere. And we can get you back on for another episode if you'd like. Okay. Well, hope you have a fantastic rest of y'all's day. My fellow VTubers, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye to our people in the chat real quick. So I'm gonna leave the Discord call, and I will see y'all next time. I hope you have a great one until then. Adios. Alrighty, people in the chat. Absolutely fantastic to have you here, everyone that followed and stuff like that. It warms my heart and feels fantastic for me to see. We're getting pretty close to the reaching affiliate. I absolutely want to do that so that we can get stuff like channel points and emotes going. But if you don't feel like following, if you didn't, if that's just not what you're feeling, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. You're not going to break my heart. It was still a blast to have you here, people, all the people that were commenting and having fun. I don't know what else I say. I think that's all I have. Other than that, I am streaming again tomorrow. Yes, I will be streaming tomorrow because I missed a stream earlier this week. So we're going to be playing Persona 4 at probably around 8 p.m. tomorrow, which is going to be Central Standard Time. So if you want to drop in and see that, it'll be absolutely fantastic to have you there. I am working on a lore video, which will be out on my YouTube. Links to that are always in my channel page. That's going to be a little while. It's going to take much longer than I originally thought because I want to get something down that I actually enjoy and I like. Aside from that, what else do I have? We have the Twitter. Absolutely follow the Twitter. That's where you get my schedule when stuff like this comes out. Which next time I do a Bheith Brainbusters, you're actually going to want to get the time for that. See who's up for that, so you can see if your favorite streamer's on it. Aside from that, I think that's everything I have. I hope you'll have a fantastic one until I see y'all again next time. I'm going to leave the music on for you. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Adios. I've actually just realized I'm dumb. I almost never have enough people. Do y'all want to do a raid real quick? I almost never have enough people for a raid, and I actually have people here. So if anyone's still here, I'm gonna launch a raid real quick. I'm gonna open my Twitch. Oh, I don't know who else here. I'm here for it. Okay, cool. So there are still people here. So we'll do a raid real quick. Who do we have online? I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I am following an insane amount of people on on oh my god, and I only have 5 people. I am following an insane number of people on Twitch. So I always go through the list. I'm gonna check real quick. Who is live? Make sure that there is more than 5 people I have live right now. In the case there, yeah, no, I have a lot more than 5 people. All right, who's a relatively small streamer we can hear? Mira Music. Okay, we can. Oh, she's playing Gartic Phone. Yeah, we can bother her. Nope, I have clicked. Yep, no, I don't. It doesn't matter. There we go. All right, there we go. Start raid. Perfect. All right. That being said, I've actually managed to do that correctly. I've almost never have enough people for raid, so I'm glad we actually have enough people here for it. I'm gonna send y'all in over there. I'm gonna join as quickly as I can. So I hope y'all have a fantastic one. I'll see you very quickly. I will see y'all next time. Adios.